Welcome, everybody, to the DBDLeague All Hallows League playoff weekend. My name is Prion, and I am here to cast for you guys today. We have some very special stuff planned for you. Notably, Halloween was just a couple of days ago, and that's going to be significantly affecting our matches today. But before I get to that, I need to introduce the co-caster with me today. I believe this is his debut, but if I'm calling you by the wrong name, please let me know. But welcome, Zach, to the DVD League cast.
Hello, Prion. Definitely excited to be here for playoffs. Last weekend was actually my debut, so I cast 2 games over the weekend last weekend, along with Daya, which was really fun and exciting. A little bit nervous, but I did end up getting into it pretty nicely. But I'm excited to cast with you today. I believe this is probably our first time sort of talking and casting together. So excited for that, and I'm really excited for the games ahead today.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong there, but it is your debut with me because I wasn't there last weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, what a banger of a game. The Halloween sets that we have lined up, there is special sets being played today, notably our first and second set, the Onryo and Tier 3 Myers, I'm really excited for.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and explain the new rules surrounding these Halloween sets. So the DBDLeague Balance team, who does so much work for us here, have created, I think it's 4 different Halloween-specific killer sets. And in these Halloween-themed playoff matches, each team has to choose one of these Halloween sets to be a part of their series. So as Zach just mentioned, one of those is a Onryo set. One of them is a Tier 3 Myers set. And then the other 2 options are a Spirit set and a Tier 1 Myers set with the Scratched Mirror. So our first game today between Eternal and Severance is going to feature the Halloween sets of Tier 3 Myers and Onryo. So very interesting stuff there. There are forced add-ons for a Halloween theme, as well as some forced perks. If you want to explain those, Zach.
Yes, let me pull it up. I believe Yep, so I'm just looking. For the Onryo game, it's going to be played on Midwich Elementary, and the add-ons are distorted photo and remote control. I'm not too familiar with the Onryo add-ons, honestly. If you could help me with that, Prion.
Okay, so I do play a little bit of Sadako. I don't want to brag, but I did accidentally end Xeno's 4-out win streak with Condemned Sadako. Um, but anyways, remote control is one of Sadako's iridescent add-ons. It shows the aura of survivors that are carrying a tape after she teleports to a TV. And distorted photo is not one that I really use a lot, but it's one of those add-ons for Sadako that kind of affects how she appears when she's demanifested. So add-ons are going to be themed towards the Halloween scare sort of gameplay there for the Sadako. The Sadako set is probably the most normal one we have out of the Halloween ones. It's going to look pretty similar to Sadako sets that you've seen before, but if we talk about the Tier 3 Myers set, that's where things get pretty interesting. It's going to be a infinite Tier 3 Myers build with the Fragrant Tuft of Hair and the J. Myers Memorial for the stalking power. And the killer must either bring Trail of Torment or Unforeseen. And both of these are generator kicking perks that kind of add stealth to the trial. And these perks are similar, but they differ in a couple of very, very important ways. So Trail of Torment, you kick a generator and it lights up yellow for the survivors, and you are undetectable until that generator stops regressing. It doesn't stop if you get it down. It used to, but they changed that. Unforeseen, on the other hand, doesn't show survivors that it's active. It instead shifts the killer's terror radius to that generator for a set duration of 30 seconds and allows the killer to move away undetectable. So it's going to be interesting to see which one the killers choose to go for in that Tier 3 Myers set. If I had to guess, Zach, I think they're probably going to choose Unforeseen instead because it doesn't just show the survivors that it's active when it happens.
Yeah, and you are guaranteed that 30 seconds of undetectable as well. Whereas if a survivor just jumps straight on the gen with Trail of Torment, you can just sort of really it's possible just to get no value. But I'm looking forward to the jump scares that is going to be afforded by these specific rules. I think it's going to add like a nice entertaining element as well. To promote the Halloween spirit.
Yeah. So, and another thing to mention is that the teams have a choice as to when they go for these Halloween sets, but Eternal and Severance chose to get them right out of the way at the beginning of the series. Both of these Halloween sets are going to be played back to back.
Yeah, so we'll have an entertaining sort of first couple of sets there. Followed up in game 3, we have a Slinger set and a Nurse set. But really excitingly, actually, is the tiebreaker, which is going to be Dracula. Super, I mean, relatively new, I think, to the comp scene, Dracula. So I've personally never seen a Dracula comp game played. So for me, that one's going to be really interesting if we do make it to that tiebreaker. But yeah, some really interesting matches lined up, colors to be chosen, and the Halloween sets to kick it off.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Dracula set is going to be very interesting. I really hope we reach it. I've seen 2 comp Dracula games, but there's definitely a lot of room for more there since he's such a new killer. And I'm being told by our production staff here that actually there's another interesting twist to this Onryo set that we're going to be seeing. Survivors can't bring any perks. Um, so that's going to be a little bit difficult on the survivors. I guess it makes sense given that Sadako is such a weak killer, but also Midwich is a pretty strong map for her. If the survivors aren't really on top of moving tapes, they might get condemned because a lot of those TVs are kind of layered on top of each other with the 2 floors of Midwich. And then we're not seeing this in Eternal versus Severance, but if a tier 1 Meyer set were to happen, survivors can't bring perks in that either.
Yeah, it really does throw a spanner in the works for the survivors not being able to run perks. Onryo, I feel like, is relatively strong on Midwich if they use their power enough. Because it's 2 floors, even if you TP upstairs, you'll still be able to spread condemn downstairs. So it really does introduce a unique playstyle too. So it's really up to Eternal to be able to manage that power if the killer opts to use it and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and let me talk about Sadako for a little bit more here. I feel like I know a little bit more than average about her. I've been like put up against One Pump Willie's Sadako in solo queue so many times, and I've even scrimmed against him as well. So the difference between the Sadako players here and how they use their power is going to come with how well the killers understand the TV timers. Because if you let the survivors get out ahead and turn off your TVs and return the tapes, you're not going to have any condemned stacks on anybody. And the survivors are just going to run away with the game. Your power is essentially going to be useless. Nobody's going to feel pressured to go across the map and return a tape if you can't keep a handle on when those TVs are going to turn back on. Because when you play against somebody that really knows Sadako, like One Pump Willie, he has the TV timers memorized. If you go to take a tape, he's going to know that you're going there and come straight out of the TV while you're in the animation. And that's how he keeps the condemn pressure up. So if these killers understand that, the Sadako set is going to be really hard. If they neglect their teleports and don't really care about which ones are about to come back on, then the survivors are not going to feel pressured at all.
Yeah, so I mean, being able to manage that power is 100% gonna, I mean, could turn the tide for the killer, especially if they choose to go for it. And the tapes, if I remember correctly from my own games against Sadako on this map, you have to run about 45 miles to get to the TV you need to. And yeah, I mean, it does save a lot of time being such a large map as well. Um, yeah,
Yeah, so looks like the teams are both ready to get into the first match here. Production just told me that we are all ready to go, and I believe it's going to be the Onryo set first. So we're going to very soon see the results of what I was just talking about. Looks like we are just now going into the match, Zach. Hope you guys are all ready for a very exciting playoff here. Eternal versus Severance. Can Eternal keep their crown?
Yeah, and I mean, looking at group stage as well, Eternal had a pretty flawless run. I think only dropping 1 or 2 sets. So they are sort of coming into playoffs in a really strong spot, and I think they've got a lot of momentum. So I feel like they might be the favorites for this match. Do you have any predictions, Prion, for how this is going to go?
Let's see, predictions. You're definitely correct that Eternal is going to be the favorite here. I'm going to go with a prediction of 3-2 in favor of Eternal, simply because I really want to see Dracula.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one, but maybe just to be a little bit different, so I'll go with Severance. But either way, I really want to see this Dracula set.
Yeah, Severance has been a really standout team this All Hallows League. I didn't really know a lot about them before, but they've been performing very well above expectations. Up against Eternal, though, it's going to be a serious challenge here. We got Kexo, Nightlight, Spitz, Dan, all of the survivors that you know and love. There's no way that this team is not the favorite in any match that they play here. As we start the game, got Ruin here for Ward. First chase starting onto Dan. Can't imagine he's going to commit, though. He's waiting for those TVs to come on. Now the teleporting begins. Nightlight already getting a little bit condemned. And a 4 set of condemned going on to these survivors. No condemned from the second teleport, though. That means that the survivors moved away from any active TVs as soon as the teleporting started to come in from Ward. So, smart play so far from Eternal. All of these survivors, I think they know what they're doing against Sadako.
Yeah, so first chase starts into Kexo. Ultimately, trying to opt to get the condemn applied, ready for the first chase. Be interesting to see how he follows up. I know sometimes Sadako is often to TP during chase to spread the condemn on the survivor that they're chasing. Look, like you can see here right now, he's TPing on the TVs that Kexo is sort of running towards. And if played properly, I mean, it can lead to condemns and chases. So really like interesting to see how this is played. But he's got this sort of loop around here. They're not the safest pallets, but is doing very well to loop him around here.
Yeah, Ward will eventually get this if he bloodlusts, but it's going to take time. That pallet out there in the hallway is really bad, but if you combine it with that one in the room, it's actually not so bad. So Kexo lasting a pretty long time there, but he is eventually going to go down. The first generator is going to pop in the distance. Pickup comes in onto Kexo, and the hook is now going to come in. Notably, Ward has coup de grace, so 1 stack of it used there, but that lunge was short enough that I don't think the survivors would have been able to call it out yet. Spitz is finishing the chemistry room generator here, and that is 3 generators popping in very quick succession here. Team Eternal, so efficient, and that's going to be a little bit more condemn applied, but Ward is going to be scrambling for pressure here. He really needs to find something. There's only 1 more TV to teleport to left on the map, and that's actually going to be Spitz condemned. He knows where he is, but there's no TV to go to, and I don't think Spitz has a tape either. I can't really tell on the UI there. Okay, Spitz does have a tape, but he's not close to his TV. Hiding here, he is actually very close to his TV. It's directly below him. Will Ward be able to find him here? This is so intense, Zach. Spitz gets found. He's on this bad pallet in the library. Probably gonna eat an M1 eventually here.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to get that TV yet. Just hit over the pallet. Oh, it looks like the survivor's coming for the body block. Just going to let him actually get this tape in, I think. Yeah, so they save him from the condemn. I can imagine he was quite close, which is why he sort of went for the tape in the first place. But really good use of the power to be able to spread the condemn and even get that onto Spitz there. Finding an early down onto Kexo, sort of in the midst of all that chaos. Probably realized with the body block, not going to get that.
Yeah, so that's going to be Kexo going up on his second hook, and it's worth mentioning that Kexo now has 2 condemn stacks locked in on himself, and Nightlight returning a tape there in the top of the library. Smart play there from him, but the generator progress is slowing down a little bit. They have one of them very close to popping, but there's a little surprise here for Ward if they finish the last generator in the form of Noed.
Yeah, another sort of twist. Doing really well there to dodge out on that. No coup de grace. I didn't think he used the stack. Maybe he wants to try and hide that. Oh, but no. I think that probably is going to call it. So others will probably know it's coup de grace now. Fourth generator pops, and there's still quite a lot of condemned progress on these survivors. So, yeah, I mean, definitely still to play for, I think, for Ward here.
He's got 2 survivors here in chase in the hallway, but the TVs near the generators that he needs to defend are on. Curious to see what he's going to do here, whether he's going to try to tunnel out Kexo or go for a fresh hook in the form of Spitz. So Ward has made the judgment that he doesn't have enough time to tunnel out Kexo and get any other kills. So he's just going to go for Spitz instead, who's going to die on the filler pallet. Spitz has a lot of condemned stacks on him, so this is going to lock in 3 of those. They won't be able to be removed by tapes anymore after he gets hooked.
Yeah, just adding to the pressure there for him. Starting work on this 5th generator. I'm not sure about the progress really on the map after that 4th gen was completed. But the game has slowed down, and you can hear him TPing there in the background. Just trying to sort of rinse and repeat. Finds chase onto Dan there in courtyard. So going to commit this. Yeah, just playing this really well. This is a with a breakable wall broken there. It does make that loop quite strong. But opts to TP back as the hook does come through onto Spitz. And yeah, just maybe opting to try and go for him again. No, actually sees a tape in Nightlight's hand. Swaps over to him. I wonder if he's maybe trying to secure some more fresh hooks. I'm not sure, but in order for him to maybe get even more pressure, might be looking to get a survivor out of the game. Spitz is condemned again.
Spitz with the 7 stacks once again. I don't think he's going to try to go for him, though, because Kexo is also condemned now, and I think I see what Team Eternal is going for here. Okay, never mind. Nightlight is also condemned. I was going to say that Team Eternal is leaving condemned stacks on the survivors that have less stages to give, but then Nightlight, the fresh hook, it's fully condemned. So, interesting play here. Is Ward going to be able to capitalize on it, though? Nightlight close in the terror radius, and he's going to come out of the TV near him. And yes, as Zach just mentioned, every survivor is fully condemned right now. Nightlight is going to return that tape over in the corner, but Dan is also fully condemned. He's going to need a hit. Okay, so he's just going to take the guaranteed down onto Nightlight, zoned in the corner. He's not fully condemned, but this is going to be another fresh hook. So still a very good play here for Ward to make. He's got 3 survivors on the map fully condemned, and they're not doing tapes, they're resetting.
Yeah,
this is a lot of pressure for Ward, Zach.
A lot of pressure, yeah. And how Eternal going to deal with this? I mean, if he finds one of these survivors here resetting, I mean, he's going towards it. I think he might end up finding them. This could lead to a kill.
Yeah, and this is where Sadako gets strong. That she can phase through body blockers with the demanifested state, and that's exactly what she's going to try to do onto Dan right here. He has a decent window to play here, and that's going to make it really hard for Ward to bloodlust this down. But if Dan goes down here, it is kind of over for Team Eternal. Dan is going to get eyeballed as a fresh hook. This is disaster for Team Eternal.
Yeah, and still with nowhere to go as well. One gun left. Yeah, I mean, getting found there is absolutely devastating, and just being able to get that. They were playing the loop really well, getting that body block, but as soon as you ran outside, he was able to just get past Kexo. I mean, there was nothing they could really do. And he's already found his next chase. He's Nightlight. I think it's this Nightlight he's on right now. Oh, no, sorry, it's Kexo. And Kexo is condemnable. But this is quite a strong loop, to be honest. Yeah, opts to leave. Knows that he probably won't be able to catch Kexo on that loop there.
Yeah, and there's no reason for Ward to chase Kexo right now. They're leaving him fully condemned just kind of as a bait, but Kexo is dead on hook, so it really doesn't matter for him to move tapes.
Yeah, ideally wants to get one of these one-stage survivors. Spitz and Nightlight. Spitz still condemnable. I would like to see some tapes done by the survivors there to try and sort of claw back some of that pressure that Ward has. This has turned a bit into well, I mean, they've got to be sweating right now. But yeah, opt to reset there in the background. and maybe try and just slow the game down a little bit after that kill.
Yeah, if you're Team Eternal here, you need to get on top of turning these TVs off. You can't be doing gens near an active TV. As you see the remote control add-on come in there, giving Ward good information on who is near these TVs. He's still got active TVs near the generators that are remaining here. He's sort of finding a chase here on a Kexo, who finally turned in his tape, by the way. So no longer Moriable there for Kexo. Chase now going to be onto Spitz in this classroom, and this is another survivor that it would be really bad if he got fully condemned.
Is he going to commit this? I mean, it was a chase earlier in this area, so the pallets are gone, but yeah, opts to leave. Maybe trying to sort of defend gens a bit more. He finds Nightlight here and going to TP. Again, trying to condemn him. Another survivor, which would be really nice for him to get the condemn onto, because there's only one stage on Nightlight. Ideally, the best survivor for him to find next. But yeah, this is another strong tile against Sadako. We probably might main game this. And oh wow, really nice fake there from Nightlight. He's going to commit this chase. Yeah, like I said, really safe pallet to be honest. Kexo working on the final generator in courtyard. And yeah, I think Ward is just trying to... I felt like he's trying to get these chases, but realizes he probably can't commit for them too long. He's finding the right survivors, and Spitz is still condemnable. I think maybe they're just trying to get that generator done and running Ward away as far away as they can.
Yeah, and if you're Ward here, you need to commit to something. You need to eat those strong pallets because you have no end in your back pocket. You don't want those strong pallets to still be up when the final generator pops. I don't think you can realistically get a 4K1 as Sadako, especially because we've seen Sadako's getting results like 2 stages earlier in the All Hallows League. So I think Ward needs to rely on his Noed a little bit more here and actually do the work to get those pallets off the map, even if he's not getting downs.
Yeah, especially because he had so much condemned progress. I think he's found the reset. With so much condemned progress, it's probably worth it to commit, especially on someone like Spitz, who was condemnable. Because if he does get Spitz down, Spitz is dead, and then he has Noed ready for the remaining 2 survivors. So, I mean, that would have set him up for success there. It's doing really well to find these resets. To be honest, he's found 2 resets so far. Once they're trying to regain the pressure, he's able to just keep it on them.
Oh, falls for the fake there. Nice job from Nightlight. And he's going to make it to what is sort of a god pallet here in the bathroom. Actually throws it on the wrong side, though, and so he's going to eat an M1. Very unfortunate there for Nightlight, as Ward is going to demanifest once again and go for a teleport. Comes out of the TV in the courtyard. Condemned going to land onto Nightlight there, but it's not enough stacks just yet. Another teleport here, and that's going to be 2 survivors condemned at once. Nightlight, again, full stacks, and he doesn't have a tape, and Ward just came out of the TV right next to him.
Yeah, so I think he has found Nightlight, so he really needs to play this safely, but this is not the safest pallet, and he's going to go down, and that's going to be a condemn onto Nightlight. First stage survivor, so that's going to be 2 extra stages. Second survivor dead. This is looking very bad, and there's not enough progress on this gen either. I think Ward knows about it. Yeah, Spit's gonna continue on that gen. Kexo knows he's condemnable. I suppose it's the second stage.
Yeah, and I just said earlier that you can't realistically get a 4K1 on Sadako in this situation, and I guess Ward heard me and decided to prove me wrong. So he's going to be in the 2v1 now, finding Spitz, going to land an M1 onto him, and Kexo returning his tape across the map, and he has Aura there from the remote control add-on. I wonder if part of what's going on here is Team Eternal doesn't quite know when their auras are being read from the remote control. It's really getting a lot of value here for Ward.
Yeah, and he's using add-ons perfectly. Finds Kexo. Going to be probably coming back to this gen. Yeah, Spitz is trying to push that gen. I realistically think that, I mean, this isn't the safest area, so this down might happen. Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere for him to go. Is he going to slug here? Yeah, he is. He's going to go back to that courtyard, try and find Spitz and secure the 4K1.
Yep, so back to the courtyard generator, and He is going to find Spitz here. This is going to be the final chase of the game for him. I'm not really sure if there are any pallets left on the map whatsoever. And with no perks here, Spitz is just going to have to play this pallet. Nice vault there, though. He's going to make it back to the other side. And interesting camera there on the on the loop. Looks like something from the Mori that happened before is distorting that vision near the pallet.
I think it's a bug at the minute with the fixed camera angles for Mori so that they don't get blocked. I think it created a bug where if a survivor's been worried, it leaves a hole in the wall.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a bit strange to look at, yeah.
So yeah, Kexo going to be put up on the hook and sacrificed, and that is going to secure a 4K1 on the Sadako for Ward. Severance, like I said, they are definitely the underdog here, but with a performance like this from Ward, I think they can feel very confident going into this Survivor set.
Yeah, I mean, really well played, really good management of power, and yeah, to be honest, everything sort of went right for them in this match. Getting four condemnable statuses as well at once. This sort of goes back to what I said during the campfire chat, where the condemn is spread really nicely on this map with the two floors. But ultimately, Eternal around the TVs, Ward was able to, I guess, play it really well. They weren't able to combat that condemn and pressure, and it led to some really worrying scenarios. But yeah, leading to the 4K1. I was not expecting a 4K1 in this game, to be honest. We've seen Sadako play this tournament once before, and there were not like a result like this going into the next game, and the survivors are going to be chilling, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be good spirits for Team Severance here, but this is the killer set that they picked. They need to make sure that they don't slip up on the survivor side and allow sort of the same thing to happen from the side of Team Eternal's killer. They need to be 100% on top of returning these tapes, turning off TVs. Something that a lot of people don't know about Sadako is that when a survivor turns off a TV, it stays off for almost twice as long as when Sadako teleports to the TV. So you really need to be manually turning off those TVs as a survivor. It seriously cripples her power. If you let her turn them off herself by teleporting, they come back in only like 40 seconds.
Yeah, so that might be the priority for them to sort of combat that power and try and get 5 generators completed, which would secure the win for Severance in this set. I do wonder how they're going to play this, knowing full well that they are chilling once the 5 gens are done. And it would be interesting to see how Eternal side play on the killer too. Ward did really well to just use his power and spread that condemn. Obviously knowledgeable about the killer, it being Severance's pick and everything. And I don't know if Eternal are used to playing Sadako in these settings. But
they have had one Sadako game so far in the All Hallows League. There was another team that picked it into them. I believe it was Catalyst, if I remember correctly. And they played very well in that set. That was the match that I was talking about where the Sadako only got like 3 stages.
Yeah. I've obviously a very different result here. Not messing around at all. Yeah, I think the pressure's on for Eternal here for Nightlight. Nightlight though has had a pretty dominating performance on Killer, so I mean I'm sure he's confident going into this. We'll see.
Yeah, I know Nightlight is a very good killer, but being confident would be hard in this situation. Playing such a weak killer on a map with so many good pallets, it's really gonna. This is Severance's game to lose. So I have a bit of a correction coming in. In the last match, we were talking about the remote control add-on and the distorted photo, but I noticed with about 2 gens left that those were not the add-ons that were being used by Ward. So we at the production made a little bit of a mistake with the special Halloween rules. Remote control and distorted photo are actually the banned add-ons for this set, not the forced add-ons. So there's no problem. Those add-ons can't be used, and there was nothing wrong with Ward's build in the last match. So from now on, we know that there's not going to be any remote control or distorted photo in these Sadako sets. So just wanted to issue a correction there.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion, but it's fine. It's chill. As we are just setting up the reverse fixture right now. And yeah, I think it's nice to see different killers sort of in the lineup as well. I mean, Sadako you don't really often see, and to see how these players just play around the power, they do it really well. To be honest, it's really impressive to see. Would you agree, Prion?
Yeah, these killers that you don't usually see in competitive, they kind of force the teams to work on skills that they would usually neglect. Um, Typically, if you were to ask competitive teams, "Hey, what do you guys want to scrim?" They're gonna say Nurse Cold Tower. They're gonna say Mastermind Cold Tower. They're gonna say Unknown Wreckers, stuff like that. But never are you going to find a team that's like, guys, please scrim us Sadako, unless
Yeah.
you have balancing like this in the All Hallows League. And it kind of forces teams to work on that teamwork with like the very specific killer powers that require weird counterplay. Um, I mean, where else are you going to find teams that really know how to like keep the TVs off all over the map and calm like where Sadako's teleporting to? Stuff like that is a little bit more rare and competitive, and that's why I really like the All Hallows balancing.
Yeah.
It's something that we really only get in the form of indoor maps in the normal balancing.
Yeah, and it inspires a different playstyle too. Quite often you do see sort of killers progressing this the elimination of the first survivor. A weak killer like Sadako, you can't really do that. She sort of comes alive when you get that condemn going and get the power going. Showcased to us by Ward, which is another reason why it's so exciting to see as well, because they are able to, well, they need to adapt to those normal strategies that don't usually work. And yeah, it's just it's nice to see, I think, and enjoyable to watch too. Out of the ordinary in these settings, and makes for like really exciting moments. Like you saw it in that match. There's just finding the resets, stopping them. They're not able to get the tapes, the condemn it, the pressure's on. They're trying to get that lash generator pumped out, but you are in fear of getting eyeball at all times, especially on this map. And you can't see the. It's very hard to spot Sadako on that map because of how dark it is. And
Yeah, and it looks like
yeah.
we're going into the match now, Zach.
Yes, for the return fixture with Nightlight as the killer. And we'll see how he plays it, how he opts to play it.
Yeah, so
But
Nightlight here, he has a very tough win condition. This is not what you want to have as a killer in competitive Dead by Daylight. You do not want to be playing a weak killer and have a 4K anything win condition. So Nightlight here, he needs a 4K2 on Sadako if he wants to put Team Eternal up in this series. So first chase is going to be so important here, Zach.
yeah, he's going to need to play the absolute perfect game, and what a difficult killer and map to do it on, to be honest. So really going to need to lock in here. As he comes in and tries to find the first chase. Yeah, going to be looking around as a little bit different to sort of how it started the first time, where the Ward opted to do the TVs. He has managed to find Ward spreading the condemn on the chase onto this filler here in this room. Not the safest, it's going to lead to a health state. So nice first early injury there. Like you said, needs a strong first chase. I'm going to be mind gaming this room to try and lead to the down. And he has couple here. Not going to opt to use it. Going to go into this room instead. Yeah, for me, I think the survivors need a strong first chase as well to just try and have as much pressure on Nightlight as possible. If they can crank out as many gens as possible, it would be very good for them, sort of leading into the later stage of this match.
Yeah, and already, Zach, we're seeing a huge difference between Nightlight and Ward on this killer. Nightlight hasn't teleported a single time. Ward already had all of the TVs turned off at this point in the game for Severance, and Chase now continuing, and Nightlight has still yet to find the down. We might be looking at the same situation as last game where 3 generators pop for the first down, as the Cameroon pallet is going to be thrown, but the mind game is not going to come in for the survivor. Nightlight is going to secure that first down onto Ward a little bit faster than the last match, but there is only one person with any condemned stacked so far.
Yeah, not the start. I think that Nightlight wants. I mean, you already see strong progression to the second generator with only one stage on the map. He needs survivors falling over pretty much one after the other, really, to sort of continue his pressure. As the survivors are coming in for the safe hit, and that second generator being worked on. Doing tapes, you can see there's, like you said, there's not much progression. Only one bar of condemn on everyone at the minute. And there was no condemn on to the ward. Oh, it's going to find a quick second down actually into her. Maybe opting to get a survivor out of the game quickly. I mean, when it's happening that fast, it's pretty good for him. So maybe a bit of a momentum there for Nightlight.
Yeah, so Cartney's trying to finish this gen in Nightlight's face, and he is going to Actually, no, that was a different generator, so he's not going to finish the one that's right next to the hook. This really works in Nightlight's favor. You can tell that he's going for more of the classic comp strat of just tunneling one person out. And if you are Severance, this is kind of a problem, because on one hand, you want to let Ward sit so that he doesn't get tunneled out super early. But on the other hand, there's like a gen at 90% right next to his hook, and it's regressing from Ruin. So Nightlight is in a really good spot here. He doesn't have Noed, but he does have another perk that might come in if he maybe gets away from the hook a little bit. Devour Hope for later in the game could really do work for him. As he comes back to a TV near the hook, they're not going to be unhooking Ward just yet, and that's smart, I think, from Severance. M1 going to come in there onto Hallows, and he's actually going to go and make the trade. So Ward going to be off hook for maybe his final chase here as Hallows goes down for the trade.
Yeah, and what do you do when you're Severance in this situation? Do you have your other 2 survivors working on gens with one person sort of committing to save? Might be the smartest thing to do. One of those really progressed gens. Oh, so our gen pops out in the background, and this one that's close to the sort of chase is nearly done. So,
good mind games here from Ward, winning for the pallet. You're gonna go down there.
Yeah, over the pallet. Not the safest, but that's all you can really do is mind game the pallet and try and stop. Gonna opt to hook the tap here, and then potentially, okay, not immediately picking up Ward. Okay, is going to now. Is going to secure that kill. And yeah, I think that the game is looking a bit more shaky than at the start. Really good for Nightlight to get that pressure going. As they move on to that generator. He does know about it. There's going to be Ward dead. Imagine he goes straight back to that gen yet to stop that progression happening. Has found tap. And I think this is starting to look a bit rough. Oh, there is the 4th generator popping.
That's going to be the tie condition here for Severance. Only one more and they win.
Yeah, Nightlight viciously defending that generator. Gonna leave tap on the floor, and I think is onto the Claudette here. Now opts to TP back and go back to that slug. Realizes he's chased the survivor far enough away from the gen.
And Nightlight really wants to bring him back to that same hook he's been using. That generator has been so progressed for so much of this game. And if you are Severance now, you need to be going for a different generator. They're not wanting to cleanse Ruin. not even really trying to find it. I know that there's a totem that's just like completely exposed out in the courtyard, and it looks like Severance is too scared to touch those, maybe for fear that Nightlight has Pentimento, and that fear is well founded, as Nightlight is going to find Cartney there, but not going to commit to him. Going to teleport down towards the courtyard and find Hainu there. Good find. It's going to be an M1 onto him. Hallows is still on the hook, and Nightlight looking like he has a pretty good chance to defend these last 3 generators.
Yeah, he's opting for a hit and run strategy and just going back to hook. And it's probably the best thing for him to do in this scenario because he forces a trade every time, and he has such good timing on these survivors. They are going for the unhook as he goes back. Maybe a bit of shaky communication, but yeah, I mean, it is. This is a really strong performance from Nightlight to capitalize on the mistakes that the survivors are making. And yeah, you're right. I mean, these gens aren't too far away from each other. As far as this map goes, there is quite a long gen spread, and so to have 3 gens here just in close proximity, like, it's probably worst case scenario for Severance.
And the problem here is that Midwich has so many strong areas for the survivors, but Severance have not been taking chase in those areas at all. Seems like every down they've had has been in that classroom that has nothing in it. They just keep running that way and dying there to Nightlight because they have no perks. And you saw that Hallows finally made it out of that area when he got unhooked, and Nightlight just did not commit to him at all.
Yeah, Condemn coming through onto Henry, but he's going to find him straight away. Does he have anywhere to run that's safe? I mean, he has this pallet here, but it's piano room. It's not the safest as he just follows him around. I think that might be, yeah, just going to go down, and that's Henry dead.
Yeah, it's going to be Henry getting eyeballed here, and I think
yeah, that might be
starting to look like Nightlight might be able to secure the tie.
Yeah, I mean, wow, what a performance from Nightlight. He was definitely up against it, as we said, but I think that the survivors unfortunately forced themselves into a bit of a bad situation with this gen spread and just those hooks with the chasers in that room. Hallows condemned there, and I think it's just a matter of time. Are they going to be able to get this last gen done?
It would take a colossal mistake from Nightlight for him to lose one of these gens with 2 people alive. I think Nightlight is definitely a smart enough killer main that he knows how much time he can afford to spend on a chase. And you can see that he's not even leaving the generator area. He's waiting for the survivors to like enter the area, this area that just has barely any pallets left, and that's going to be the down onto Cartney. He's going to now slug and look for Hallows, who is seemingly in the courtyard here. He's running and making a lot of scratch marks. Can't exactly tell if he's going to try to pick up Cartney or maybe go for a gen.
No, but he's found the blood pools. He's gonna know that he is up here. Yep, and yeah, this is just a matter of time now before he gets this final down. And yep, 2 back-to-back 4K1s for Sadako on Midwich. Definitely unexpected and really well fought to get that to get that tie condition, to be honest. We had such worries coming into this game, but yeah, I mean, he sort of played win condition. Well, I mean, he played really well around the situation that he was presented with, and I feel like somewhat was handed it just with the way that the chases were going in the early stages of the game. And he, like you said, is an experienced killer main. He knows how to capitalize on mistakes. He knows what he needs to do, and he's able to just play really well.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit confused as to why Team Severance just kept running into that empty classroom instead of like trying to make it towards the god pallets on this map. I don't think the infirmary god pallet ever got used in this match, and I feel like they would have lasted longer if they had tried to get out of that upper floor area that they kept getting hooked in. At the end of the day, this was Severance's game to lose, and I think they kind of fumbled the bag here by going down next to that generator at all, because Nightlight just never let it go after that.
Yeah, he had absolutely no reason to leave the area, and yeah, I just think in that situation you need to understand that that is not the area to be in, really, because you just let him get a hold on the gens, and he's forcing trades. Well, I mean, you're forcing trades yourself by going to that area, and it's a dead zone, so it's just going to lead to another down, another hook, and that's exactly what happened. Just hook after hook, and it was just essentially downhill from there as he tries to find Cartney on the floor. He was crawled away. I believe Cartney was on a ramp just back there. I'm not sure where. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. It is essentially him playing that the best way he could, and Severance, like you say, fumbled the bag, messed up. You have to feel for them, especially forward after getting such a strong performance.
Yeah, and this was Severance's killer pick as well. So I would assume that they're going to be a little bit disappointed in this result, especially after the great performance that Ward was able to put in on the Sadako. But after this is over, after this countdown finally goes away, situations like this, I wish the survivor would just get found, because we're just sitting here, and I guess it's because Cartney wants to bleed out. But Nightlight secures the 4K1 for Team Eternal. That is going to tie the first series of this, or the first series of this match, and we're going to be next going into the Tier 3 Myers set, Zach.
Yep. Myers, I think, a very fun killer, especially for Halloween-themed set. Just to go over the special balancing, players must bring J. Myers Memorial and Fragrant Tuft of Hair add-ons, and they must bring Unforeseen or Trail of Torment. So those are the special rules for this set. And yeah, I think another interesting, fun game. That was definitely a well-fought first match. And yeah, I am excited to see how it starts out.
Yeah, so it's going to be a infinite Tier 3 Myers set here with the gen kicking stealth perks on the side of the killer. Survivors are going to be allowed to bring perks for this one, because this is like actually a Michael Myers with quite strong add-ons, and not like the permanent stealth Myers that you would see in Tier 1. So going to have that going for the survivors. But if you are Nightlight here, you really want to be carrying your momentum that you just got into this next match. Now, I know that Michael Myers is not like he's not a comp killer, not somebody that a competitive killer player would queue up and just play. So it's really just going to be down to Nightlight's fundamentals here on the killer. Same thing for Team Severance, but this is not a set. What I'm saying is this is not a set that either team would be specializing in to take an advantage.
Yeah, much like Sadako, not something we're used to seeing, is going to be coming down to the individual skills of the players. And yeah, to be honest, from this match, I want to see some jump scares. Prion, I want to see some jump scares. I want to see them using those pucks and swinging around those corners when they're least expecting it, to get some of those Halloween scares that we all want to see. Interesting to see how it is played. I think Hawkins, there's a lot of line of sight breakers. So in terms of killer power, if played correctly, it can slow down the stalk quite a bit. How the survivors will decide to play around that, trying just to make sure that he can't get that tier 3 secured. And essentially how much stalk he can accumulate at the start of the match will be well, will determine, I guess, the pacing of the game as we go into it.
Yeah, that's a good point that it is going to take a significant amount of stock for Nightlight to charge his infinite tier 3. If he is gifted that early in the game by the survivors, it's going to be really bad for Severance. But there are ways that you can counterplay that if you have good communication and you're able to break line of sight frequently from the Myers. It can take him quite a long time to build that up. So it's really going to be on Severance here to delay that infinite tier 3.
Yep. And just get the gens going. Need a first long chase and playing around the power. I guess I feel like this first 2 sets have been really around the power of the killer because they're not the strongest. So it's again going to be interesting to see how they counter it, how Nightlight deals with that. As we're just loading in to the game, and yeah, going to be trying to find the first survivor. We do see him open a locker. That's going to be Darkness Revealed, I believe, and already has aura reading on every survivor. A lot of lockers in Hawkins, I think pretty much in every room. So he is almost guaranteed aura reading whenever he opens a locker. And it is 2 floors as well. So even upstairs, there's nowhere to hide as he finds the first chase of the game, getting that stalk going. And to be honest, not enough distance, not as much distance as you would like, because the closer you are to that stalk, the faster it goes up. So you do want to, I think, somewhat hold W away from these rooms as a sort of rule of thumb. And the survivor's just trying to find the first gens. Second survivor found now, that's Henu. Again, not much distance, and he's just gonna, putting the pallet down, allowing him to just hold that M2 as he runs upstairs. I think this is a pretty good start for Nightlight in terms of getting that stalk up. Prion.
Yeah, and we already saw just now why Darkness Revealed, aka Budget Lethal Pursuer, is usually banned in most competitive rule sets, as he was immediately able to find all of the survivors there just by opening a locker. So very smart choice there from Nightlight, as he's about a quarter of the way towards that infinite tier 3. He's found Ward here, who's going to drop a pallet, and the 2 pallets in this room are extremely strong. So I would not guess that Nightlight is going to want to play around those at all. He's going to now leave Ward and go over towards this other generator. He's going to find Hallows, and I believe Cartney is here as well, the Obsession. Trail of Torment there going to be activated. Survivors are going to see that Trail of Torment is active, but will they be able to see Nightlight coming here? He's taking, sort of pathing around this room, and he's going to find Cartney. This is the Obsession. He's going to start building play with your food stack. This is pretty important.
Yeah, he's setting himself up for when he does inevitably get that tier 3, which it looks like is going to be soon. Has Trail of Torment, and so yeah, we might be seeing our first jump scare on the way. Yeah, he's very close. I believe he's probably got enough off of Cartney. Yeah, and that's going to be first tier 3 and the first quick down mind game on not the best palette really to play around there. Bad timing for Cartney there, but yeah, first down of the game. Trail of Torment looks like it's still applied on that gen. Oh, never mind. We see a terror radius as he finds the second chase of the game. Is he going to opt to... I think he just reapplied his Trail of Torment there on that gen, yeah. So, still at 5 gens, but we see some progression. I think that Nightlight's got some really good pacing so far starting into this game, which is exactly what he needed. He played it so perfectly, coming into it with the lockers and finding the survivors. The first gens are popping. Just going to be walking around upstairs to see if he can.
Yeah, allowing Nightlight to get that infinite tier 3 at 5 gens is really not looking good for Severance. He's going to be chasing now onto Hallows here in this room. Gonna throw the pallet there, but he's not gonna make that window. Nicely done there from Nightlight, and that's gonna be another down. Looks like Nightlight is choosing to slug here.
Yeah, production just told me that highlighted gen that I saw thinking it was Trail of Torment is actually Blast Mine. So Blast Mine's in play. Another way for him to slow down the game. And also for the giggles as well. Always love seeing Killer kick your Blast Mine. as they get stunned. And yeah, really good start. See sort of Jen's working on the other side of the map. Not the safest area, that portal room gen, but he is playing around this area really nicely, and he does have his undetectable. He's going to spot out Ward there, I believe, in that room, and the resources around these rooms have seemed to have diminished. Not many pallets to work with, so kind of similar situation to last game where he's got a hook around a progress gen in an area with no pallets. So a really strong situation, especially when you're at infinite tier 3 Myers. Yeah, and he's sort of playing the area, waiting for a survivor to come for the in-hook. Yeah, a bit of a scary situation, I think.
He's undetectable here, but Hallows is going to be able to call out to the rest of his team that his anti-camp meter is going crazy. So Nightlight, not as hidden as he might think there, as he's now leaving the hook, and he's going to find Cartney here on the stairs. He's going to commit to this. It is the obsession, so he might want to play with your food, but it looks like instead he's just going to go for the down on Cartney. He's doing the stand still and not move mind game. Cartney not going to fall for it immediately, but eventually he just goes around and just watches Cartney dab into him with the dead hard. So that's going to be a second down onto him. Cartney going to go up on the hook here as the portal room gen pops in the distance. 2 generators remaining for Team Severance. And if you look at the amount of hook stages, Team Severance is actually doing a little bit better than I thought.
Yeah, even with playing it so well, they've managed to get those generators going and deny those hook stages. I think even with tier 3, it's still quite a strong map, I think, for chases. So they are somewhat safe. He does find, he finds Cartney again. Gonna farm, play with your food stack there. I think it looks like he's sort of patrolling around these generators in the area, and the survivors are trying to get these done. Another unfortunate dead hard there with Cartney. Gonna lead to a down.
That was a extremely bold play from Cartney there. You already showed Nightlight your dead hard, and expecting him to not know that it's coming is definitely a choice. As Cartney is going to go down, he will be dead if he gets placed on the hook. I believe he might have DS since it's the obsession, but Nightlight going to choose to slug him and go for Hallows instead. Hallows just no fear goes for the vaults with the live, but he's not going to make it very far there. Cartney is going to get picked up in the distance. Nightlight choosing to slug now, and I don't blame him, given the perks that he has and the way that he's going to be in infinite tier 3 mode.
Yeah, you're right. I think he wants to ideally find information on my Hallows and Ward right now. Of course, probably do that by securing slugs on the floor. I'm not going to pay any attention to the survivor upstairs. It's fine. Ideally wants to get, I don't believe Ward's been.
I'm not sure if it's me or the Discord here, but I can't quite hear Zach. It sounds like something's happening on his end. But Nightlight is going to go down, or Nightlight is going to get another down here onto Ward. It's going to find Cartney as well, going to look to chain it into 2 downs. He's actually going to leave Cartney because he wants to play with your food stack. He knows that the survivors are grouped in this corner. They really want to do those. There's 1 gen in the hallway and 1 in the corner, and they try to have a lot of progress. He's going to win the mind game there onto Hanu, who will go down on that filler pallet. I mean, every pallet is a filler pallet on Hawkins. That generator there in the corner is now at the 8 regression. Looks like Ward is trying to body block here, maybe baiting Nightlight into thinking that there's a We're Gonna Live Forever in play, but he's going to go down through that pallet there. So 2 slugged again for Nightlight. Hanu and Ward on the ground. Cartney and Hallows, they need to try to pick their teammates up here. So looks like it's going to be Hallows. He does have We're Gonna Live Forever. I don't think that had been shown earlier in the trial, so Nightlight maybe kind of knowing that it's in play. Very nice game sense from him. Going to be Cartney going down on the filler pallet once again. That pallet is really weak. But a generator is going to pop in the distance. That is that hallway generator that was at the 8 regression limit there. So now Cartney is going to be killed. This is going to be a sacrifice for Nightlight. Moving into the 3v1 now. 3 generators to go. They only need to do one of them, and they have a very good split here on the side of Severance. Hallows is here, and Nightlight, I think he knows that they don't have much progress, and he wants to go and find something kind of outside of the gens that he was kind of defending before. Hallows here in chase. There haven't really been many chases here in this part of the map just yet, so there are going to be a lot of pallets to use. Hallows very safely makes that very good pallet there, and Nightlight, he does not want to chase this. He's going to go for a Darkness Revealed here, see what he can find, and he is going to find 2 survivors pre-running away. Looks like he's just choosing to sit here in the middle of the map and see what those survivors do. You know that Hallows was coming, he's leaving me, and those 2 survivors that were doubling that gen in the corner started to pre-run, but you do not want to be stuck in the upstairs part here. 99 sprint burst there from Ward. It's not going to make him that much distance. I don't think he makes a pallet from this, but it is going to help a little bit with getting away from that upstairs area. Nightlight is going to slug him regardless, though, as... Okay, Ward actually has tenacity, which is going to be pretty good here for the survivors. Hallows and Henu need to make something happen here, as Nightlight continues to stalk the map, looking to end this in the 3v1, but this generator split is really good here for Severance. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to pop the last one. So Nightlight finds the blood here. He's going to go, looks like, into this upstairs area. Okay, the blood is going into the upstairs area, but Nightlight doesn't want to go there himself just yet. Going to go for another Darkness Revealed. He's going to find 1 survivor upstairs near a locker. But he can't commit away from this generator by the portal room for too long because he knows Hallows is going to be doing that one. As he's going to find Henu here in this room with a very strong pallet. Just going to be immediately dropped there. Nightlight goes up onto the ramp, but I don't think this pallet is super playable unless he can catch Henu on the short side, which he's not going to be able to do as Henu has the balanced landing. Very good vault there onto the connecting filler pallet. Good chase there from Henu, wasting a lot of Nightlight's time as the survivors of Severance are really holding on here. He's going to find Hallows now at this filler pallet. He's got the lithe to get away from that room. He's going to have to go to the portal room here. There is a pallet here, but it is certainly playable for Nightlight as he's going to go for the vault. It's not going to work out. Nightlight is going to get the down onto Hallows there. 1 person on the ground, 2 people injured. And this is where it gets really important for Henu and Ward. They need to have good chases here. They need to waste Nightlight's time. They can't get caught out. And that generator is going to pop in the corner. Adrenaline for Henu. Nicely done there for Severance. And now Henu in potentially his final chase here. How long can he run Nightlight for? There's no pallet here. He is going to make that window, but the increased vault speed from the Myers is going to do him in. Now, Ward, the last man standing. Is he going for a door, or is he trying to pick up Hallows? He's going to go for the pickup onto Hallows, but Nightlight is not far behind. He's going to get the vault. These survivors urgently need to split up here. If they go down too quickly, Nightlight is going to be right on them. Forces the grab there onto the locker. Smart play from Hallows. That should give Ward time to pick up Henu, and then they should be able to split and go for a door. Okay, 2 survivors standing now. They need to split to opposite sides of the map and go for a door. But that's not going to be the death onto Hallows, so one of them might be able to go for the unhook as well. This is really intense for Nightlight. He's going to get aura onto both of the survivors. This is huge. And I believe that's... I can't tell who that is in the corner. It's going to be one of the survivors, though. Kind of chasing near the hook. I think that's Henu. Ward is going to go for the unhook onto Hallows. So now 3 survivors standing. 2 survivors standing now as I caster curse Henu there to lose the 50-50. And it's going to be Hallows now, playing near the door. Strong terror radius still on Henu. Ward really wants to go for that pickup. These survivors need to be so careful that they don't stay too close together. And to get 3 slugged here. Nightlight, he is in control here. He just does not want one of these doors to open. Goes for another Darkness Revealed here. And what is he going to find? Both of the survivors, they're sufficiently split. but one of them is a lot closer to a door than the other one, and I think that's the one Nightlight is going to go for. Actually, yeah, he's taking unorthodox pathing towards the door. Gets pallet stunned, though. Nice job from Ward there. Good reaction. He needs to waste a lot of Nightlight's time here to get the pickup onto Henu, and they need to go for a door here. I don't think anybody's been able to finish a door just yet. Good vault there onto the filler pallet. Henu now splitting from his teammates, trying to go for that door. Ward is kind of close to one of the doors, though. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. Bloodlust coming in from Nightlight here. And with the increased lunge on the tier 3, he is going down the Nia once again. And if you're Nightlight, he's actually going to take the fresh hook onto Ward. And conventional killer wisdom would say that you take that fresh hook, but Ward has Deliverance. So a little bit of a surprise here in the end game coming in for Team Severance. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make a play with the Deliverance here, or if they're just going to leave and let Ward fend for himself after he unhooks. He's right next to the other door. I don't think he could even be farther away from that door if he tried, the one that's actually open. There's no way that they'll be able to get in there and open the other door. Okay, so Henu going to leave out the door. Ward unhooks himself. Deliverance play coming in, sprint burst away from the hook, and it looks like he might be going for a hatch play here. Gonna make it to this filler pallet here, actually mind games it. Very good check spots there from Ward, not blindly going for that filler pallet, and he predicts Nightlight's double back as well. Great pathing from Ward. He's got a chance to make it to the door here. Makes it through this filler pallet room. He's gonna have to play another weak pallet here though in this room, and he finds the hatch. Ward escapes with generators all completed, and that means, correct me if I'm wrong, rules committee, but the hatch actually matters in that situation. That is absolutely huge for Team Severance. Amazing survivor performance, 3 out against the tier 3 Myers of Nightlight. And yes, hatch counts. I just got confirmation from the commissioner, and wow, I am in shock at how well Severance played that. I can't even say that Nightlight dropped the ball there. That chase from Ward in the end there was just really incredible. His check spots, his pathing, all perfect. So Severance really bringing back the momentum there. They can be really proud of that. That was really something to watch. So a little bit of housekeeping as I just continue to talk here, but there was a problem with my co-caster's, I think, internet, so he'll be back as soon as he can, and you're just gonna continue to have me solo casting here.
I think I
I might
might
eventually need a
potentially
drink
back.
of water. Okay.
I might be potentially back. I might have sort of made it out, but I did miss a big chunk of that game, which sounds like it was quite intense pre-op.
It was extremely intense. The survivors of Severance played that incredibly well. I would go back and watch it later if I were you. It was very nicely done by all of them. They were able to avoid getting 3 slugged, split from each other, pick each other up, and eventually secure a 3 out. So
Yeah, I did catch
really
that
nicely done
hatch
from
play.
them.
I did catch that hatch play, which looks really interesting, really good. From
Yeah.
Ward there
So
to get that.
if you wanna talk to chat for a couple minutes, Zach, I need to go get a drink of water because of how much I just solo casted. So I'll be right back, chat.
No problem. Enjoy, Ward. Hello everyone, I'm back. I was in my element there until my mic started to jitter, and I believe my internet cut out, and I'm not too sure why. Yeah, I think the start of that game went really well. As far as I saw, they were in a bit of a sticky situation, taking those chases around the hook, and I think the resources around the map were pretty well lacking. They did manage to get to endgame. It looks like do all those gens, so I think they did really well there to combat that pressure. They were all injured, and they're 2 out into the hatch play. I mean, the DBD gods must be on Severance's side for Ward there to get that hatch in that room, playing that last chase really well. And I believe that was 6 stages. If I'm wrong, maybe somebody correct me if I'm wrong. 6 stages
Okay,
across.
I'm back.
3 survivors. Oh, welcome back. No, I was just talking about the start of the game. I think it was a really good start from Nightlight, and it did look shaky from up until the point I saw. But to come back to them having all the gens done and that hatch play was just, I think, really, really nice for Severance, and they probably feel really good about that.
Yeah, and that was a 6-stage game from Severance, so very nicely done from them. This has been a really exciting game so far, and we're only on set 2. I think most of the time people are all used to just constant domination from Team Eternal. And Severance is really showing up today and bringing their A game, kind of putting Eternal to work here.
Yeah, like some absolute contests. First game, Nightlight doing really well to bring it back after such a steep win condition. Severance being able to bring that game back from what seemed to be a lot of pressure. So I think, we both wanted to see a game 5. We might potentially, I don't want to call it too early, but based on just how these teams are playing and how kind of close it is, I have high hopes, I think, for the Dracula game.
Yeah, and I mean the tie in the Sadako set makes it even more likely that we're going to see Dracula, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. As we get the second game underway, hoping for no internet issues, fingers crossed. And yeah, I think a very doable win condition here. 6 stages against infinite tier 3 Myers is, well, I would say maybe more expected than the 4K one on Sadako. So it'll be interesting to see how the game progresses. I don't particularly think there's a certain way he needs to play. Just get that stalk up, kind of like how Nightlight did in the first game. These survivors, I don't believe, are going to let that happen. I think they're going to be really good at denying that stalk, but we'll see as we load in here. And a bit of a different build. We see Unforeseen and Eruption, Grim Embrace, and Lethal Pursuer. So no darkness revealed. Has already found 2 survivors, heading straight over to them to try and get that power on the go. As we see Dan there getting caught out on the gen. A bit too close for comfort there, but yet you can see they're just trying his best to break line of sight. Exactly how you should be playing this. Playing those corners and the insides of the rooms. As he drops chase, tries to find another survivor and realizes that not the best place to try and get that stalk up.
Yeah, already we're seeing the differences in the builds between the 2 killers. I mean, Unforeseen taken over the Trail of Torment for Ward. That's personally the choice that I would make, since Trail of Torment just announces itself to the survivors. There weren't really a lot of big jump scares coming in from Nightlight on the killer. As Ward is going to secure the tier 2 now, but survivors of Team Eternal here, if anybody is able to make a tough win condition in this match, it's going to be them. So Ward needs to be on his A game here if he wants a chance of meeting that win condition. Like, no win condition is too steep for Team Eternal. If on a good day, if they're bringing it, Ward is always going to be fighting for his life here, especially on a map like Hawkins that has so many strong paths.
Yeah, and I think these survivors know how to play against this killer. They know what they need to do, and I imagine going to make it very hard for the killer here to secure that tier 3, which is really what he needs right now. Halfway to tier 3, and struggling to find a survivor here. Knows someone's up here, sees the scratch marks. Going to get the kick on this gen to apply that Unforeseen. So he's going to have 30 seconds of undetectable as he tries to maybe translate that into catching someone off guard, which he has. Sees Dan, not able to spot the killer out there, and I believe Dan has some stalk already. There should be enough, I think, if he commits this to get that tier 3 going. And we'll see if he can get a down, but does he opt to chase? No, he doesn't.
We're seeing the value of the Unforeseen already. Putting the Unforeseen on that upper floor generator has got to be really confusing for Team Eternal, because you feel like the terror radius is right on you, but it's also not moving and the killer's not near you, and it's because it's on the top floor. So really interesting play there from Ward, is able to get him a lot more stock. But one generator is going to pop in the distance, so Team Eternal off to a little bit of a faster start than Severance were in the last match.
Yep, there was quite an early down in the last game, and Ward here just trying to find that first chase. I mean, ideally he secures his tier 3 before he commits to any chases. Looks like his priority, but this game is moving fast. Like you say, 2 generators already completed, and the survivors are playing this really carefully. You can see all 3 of them hiding there. Last one on a gen, and yeah, they're going to keep it going. I think they're probably trying to call out the location of this Myers. Similar to, I guess, Ghostface on Darius, it reminds me of, where the survivors just want information on the killer at all times. And yeah, they're playing it really well. But that last bit of
there's the infinite tier 3.
There it is. So we'll see what he can do with that. Has information on where Nightlight is. And yeah, Dan gonna be walking around this always. That is the unforeseen, I believe. Just run out.
Ward here, he's going to find some scratch marks here.
Yeah.
In this room. It's a very long room without a door, and Dan, I think that is going to get very good distance there into this chase. Yeah, starting chase with Kexo from a pretty far distance away, but remember that Myers has a increased lunge in tier 3, so Kexo here gonna just pre-drop that pallet, goes for the vault with the lie, then he's going to make even more distance there. He's got another pallet in this hallway room, I think. No, he actually doesn't. With Bloodlust coming in, he is not gonna make that pallet, and that's gonna be the first down here for Ward. He's sort of on a pallet there, but I don't think any save is gonna come in when everybody's exposed. So first hook coming in for Ward at 2 generators remaining. That's going to be the first stack of Grim Embrace as well. Puts a kick down onto that generator there for the undetectable with unforeseen. Activates his Grim Embrace as well. So Ward now going to be looking to snowball this advantage. He needs to find more relatively quickly if he wants to be kind of not in a terrible situation going into the end game. And he actually hits the hook survivor. That's so unfortunate for Ward, as now he can't actually get the down onto the Deliverance survivor, which is Dan. Dan is going to make a filler pallet here, goes for the lunge, swing and a miss. Dan, good pathing there. It's going to be playing one of these very weak pallets, and yeah, Dan knows that you cannot get stranded on that pallet. You will die. Paths away from that pallet as well, but I don't think he has another one here in this hallway. He actually does. There's so many filler pallets here on Hawkins, and he gets auto-aimed onto the corner for a stun. Ward can't commit to this. This is the Deliverance survivor, and there's only 1 generator remaining, Zach. This is trouble for Severance.
It is, yeah, and he's pathing between these loops really well. Instead of playing them, he's trying to get himself into a safer position, because he knows he just needs to delay and delay, and he is just getting such bad luck on these pallets. No Pokos here, just the pallet stuns coming through, and he is definitely not going to look to chase in Portal Room there. Very strong window and room to play. And of course, no bamboozle to shut down that loop, so able to waste much more time. And yeah, it's looking rough. Only 1 stage on the board, and not able to get that trade as well. The hook probably really hurt him there. Is gonna get it down onto Nightlight here, which is really good. Not the safest pallet there to play. So probably feeling better about that. Remember, we need 6 stages across 3 unique survivors for the tie condition.
Yeah, so Nightlight going to get put up on the hook there for a fresh hook. So 10 seconds of Grim Embrace, going to give Ward a little bit of free time to do whatever he wants. But that's going to go away very quickly here. He does find blood in the portal room, and I'm not sure if this is a good place to chase, Zach.
Yeah, this window here is very, very strong. Going to be able to... Oh, but goes down on the window. Not able to vault in time, actually. That tier 3 speed coming in clutch there. As this is a basement hook against an infinite tier 3, which actually I think is quite big. And that is going to be the 3rd unique hook. So just needs to secure the 6 stages now. And I mean, to be fair, like that is quite a safe position for Ward to defend. But opts to instead go across the map to see if he can catch another survivor off. Wants to try and build on the momentum that he's got. Quick hooks. Applying that unforeseen, and yeah, the save does come through onto Spitz, and may opt up path back, but does find Dan here in the hallways. Gonna commit chase. Does have unforeseen, undetectable.
But it doesn't really matter that Dan is the deliverance survivor here because he is the final fresh hook, and Nightlight on the Shape only had 3 fresh hooks. So that is why you see Kexo taking the down for Dan. They don't want Ward to be able to secure this last fresh hook, and the tier 3 lunge comes in. That's going to be the down onto Dan. 4th fresh hook going to be put up, and that's going to be the 4th stack of Grim Embrace as well.
Yep,
Eternal are going to be scrambling to finish this generator before the Grim Embrace comes in. Any second now, every generator is going to be blocked for 45 seconds, Zach. This is looking like Ward is going to secure the win.
Yeah, and he had Eruption applied on that really progressed generator as well, so that's going to secure some nice aura reading, and well, yeah, 40 seconds of no gem progression right now, and 2 survivors on the hook. So that's 5 stages across 4 survivors. So it needs 1 more stage for tie, and then 2 more for win. And it looks like it's going to happen, to be honest. I don't see a way out for the Eternal survivors here. Ward playing really well, and managed to get the momentum up from a slow start of the game.
Yes, any next hook stage is the win for Ward. So extremely strong position for him to be in here. Actually, you know, this is actually just the win right now for Ward, because it doesn't matter that Eternal finishes this generator. It's infinite tier 3 Myers camping a hook just in a room.
Yeah.
Any stage here wins it for Ward. Kexo dies on hook, that means he wins on fresh hooks. So very good performance here from Ward, and it looks like Eternal is just going to go for some crazy play here and try to get the unhook onto Kexo, but it's not going to work out. So that's going to be all of the Eternal survivors on the floor, and what do you know, Zach? Severance has taken a set off of them.
Yeah, wow. I mean, we talked about it. They were playing really well, and they're going to feel so good after this win, I think, going into the 3rd game. I believe it's the Deathslinger setting. Yeah, I mean, these killers that we expect to just get stomped and not really many stages, like we're seeing a 4Ks, like it's crazy, and just goes to show you how well these how impressive these players are, and seeing the individual skill of the killer players and the survivors to just secure these insane results. I mean, they had to play that risky there, because if they let him die, then it's a loss anyway. So, you know, the Hail Mary pull on the hook, but didn't work out. I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing. Prion.
Yeah, Severance is really bringing it today and making this a super interesting series. We're going to be going into the 3rd set with a score of 1-0-1 in favor of Severance, and it's going to be Ward on the Slinger, going to be looking to bring his momentum into the next match. And Slinger, it's definitely a set that you need to be confident in, and we can talk about this a little bit more during the break. But do you have any closing words about these Halloween sets, Zach?
Yeah, I think aside from being quite fun sets, I think adds a bit of a interesting dynamic to the games and playstyles. I'm really looking forward to across the playoffs seeing some of these different sets as well. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think it's nice, and it's a nice change up from what we usually see. That's really the main thing for me.
Yeah, definitely. So going into this Deathslinger set, we're gonna have Ward on the killer once again. He really needs to go into this with confidence. As somebody who has played a lot of Deathslinger in comp, like obviously I'm not DBDLeague level, but I've played a lot of like comp sets, scrims, stuff like that. The mental game is really there when you play the ranged killers. If you go into this match thinking that like you're already gonna have to be kind of pre-aiming for Eternal to duke your shots, and you're afraid to chase certain people or afraid to chase in certain places, on the Deathslinger, you've already lost. You have to just go for those shots and send them. Be confident that you're going to get them, because if you start to lose confidence in your aim, you were just gonna get 4-outed on a slinger set.
Yeah, I was talking to Dyer about it last week, in I believe it was the Unoi versus Misery game, that Slinger also, in terms of like what map you get him on, all of those nooks and crannies and getting those spicy little shots through the wall, there's a lot of opportunity for like some unexpected downs or health states. So if these players are experienced on the killer, they're gonna know. So the map will be really interesting to see when we load in. And yeah, I think it's a very mind gaming killer. I think it makes interesting chases too. And hopefully, yeah, we see some nice flicks too.
Yeah, so we're just trying to get all the players into the lobby here to start this third set of the series. Team Eternal here, they need to kind of regroup and kind of, I don't know, bring it back to their roots on how they usually play these sets. They might have gotten thrown off a little bit by the Halloween spooky balancing, but going into something like a slinger set, if I had to make a prediction here, Zach, I would say that this is going to be Team Eternal's. This is going to be a advantage to Team Eternal. Slinger is a very classic set. There's a lot of skill expression on both sides, especially for the survivors. If you have a long chase in a slinger set, game is just over basically. And slinger, he's a very abusable killer in chase, I think. Team Eternal, they're not really going to be letting themselves get into those situations where the slinger just has a free hit. So I'm predicting that Team Eternal is going to even up the series here.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you because I think that those first two sets being out of the ordinary for, I think, comp in general, returning to the comfort zone on a killer like Slinger, yeah, we're gonna see Eternal shine, I think, in this set, and they're definitely gonna show why they have dominated through the tournament so far.
So players are starting to ready up in the lobby here. This is going to be certainly a statement game for either side here. For Team Eternal, if they're able to win this, that really sends the message of you beat us in the Halloween sets, but now that we're done with those, Team Eternal is going to be dominating on the classic comp sets. But on the side of Severance, it's all up to Ward here to keep this momentum going, kind of show that he belongs here, which he's been already showing. But now in the classic comp set against Team Eternal, the favorite of this tournament, the kings of competitive Dead by Daylight right now after winning season 9, if Ward is able to put up a great result here, I don't think anybody will be able to look at him and say that he's not a top tier killer anymore. Ward is a new face this season, and he's been impressing me every game we've seen Severance. So this is going to be a big statement for him to kind of prove his worth here in the Slinger set.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's in a very good mindset right now, coming off the back of that set on Myers. Even if it is maybe not typical, still really nice for him to know that he's just beat Eternal, and now he probably really wants to do it again. As we load in here, and we see, I believe that's Wrecker's Yard. Well, this is a pretty typical. You see it quite often. Lethal Pursuer in place, so he's going to know the location of the survivors pretty immediately. And if you spotted that there, but there was Blood Favor, I believe, in play as well. A perk that we've seen quite a lot this tournament, and I think it's a very strong chase perk, especially for someone like Slinger. If you're able to block those pallets and really apply that pressure. Yeah, it's if they don't cleanse it, I believe it's going to hopefully get a lot of value for Ward here as he takes a chase on to Dan Combus. Dan doing really well to dodge out on those shots to stay with, and we do see the Hex cleanse, so that is going to be Blood Feeder out of the trial. And I believe that's the cigar add-on being used, which is reduced stun duration from the broken chain, and obviously keys for the quicker reload time. Making use of those add-ons in the first chase. And a really, really nice dodge. Yeah, I
feel like he had the opportunity to shoot that before the pallet drop came in. Maybe just a little bit of hesitation there from Ward, going to cost him a lot of time in this chase. He's already missed a few shots onto Dan, and it looks like he's going to walk him down now. So first down going to come in there onto Dan. The Blood Favor, like you said, already gone. This is the Deliverance Survivor hooked, but I think Team Eternal has gotten quite a bit of generator progress for this.
Yeah, one gen down and another one about to be completed. You see it with the power, even if he misses, he can just zone the survivors away from certain areas, allowing him to just run them down like that. And it's just another thing that the Slinger can do with his power. And that is quite a strong loop for the first chase to be on. So wasting a lot of time, and especially when he's dodging out on those shots and not able to connect, just to add pressure. He's probably going to be hoping to get a quicker chase in the second time round.
He's going to be committing very far away from the hook here for a chase onto a healthy survivor. So that kind of tells you what his game plan is here. Nice shot there around the corner onto Kexo. He's going to be using the cigar add-on again. Actually, no, because Kexo, he's able to get the chain out of the terrain so it wouldn't break without interference from Ward. So he's going to just not have the cigar value there, and Kexo's going to make distance towards Shack. So nice play there from Kexo. Manages to not get zoned edge map here as Chase going towards the Shack. Kexo going to be holding W. That's a good choice against the Slinger. He has a good tile here, and he's just going to pre-drop the pallet. Ward here going for the shot, pulling it up. Gonna miss though. Even if he hit that, I don't think he's able to drag him around the corner. So good pathing there from Kexo. I don't think you can do this, Ward. You need to break that pallet, as Kexo knows where he can and can't go against the Deathslinger. So this chase is going to take a significant amount of time, and another shot is missed. 2 generators pop in the distance, 2 generators to go, and these Team Eternal survivors are getting the better of Ward in these 1v1s so far. Shot going to come in. Going to be the second down for Ward, but this is only going to be the second stack of Grim Embrace. He needs to pick up the pace here if he's going to get that 4 stacks activation. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be only relying on the no-ed here.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing it really well. To be honest, every chase is long, and they're not letting him get the pressure that he needs to really sort of snowball this game. As he pops the second stack of Grim Embrace, trying to find more survivors. I think he probably wants all 4 stacks of Grim Embrace in play because of the pressure and just the amount of gens that have been done so far. Ideally needs to translate these hooks into new chases to get that going, to slow down the game and get that 40 seconds of stoppage in the gens. As he finds the unhook survivor, I believe that was Dan, right there, going for the unhook. Oh no, sorry, it was Spitz going for the lead. This time he gets that M1 onto truck, and we'll probably want to commit this again for that further Grim Embrace stack. 4th gen pop now, and yeah, Ward must be feeling the pressure, especially because of just how long these chases have been, and the distance from being chased into the corner of the map here, away from those generators on the other side. But a really nice shot there around that loop, and does get the down nice onto Spitz. So that's good for Ward there, and we'll see. Not flashlight save, not going to come through. Onto the save as he. Oh, okay. So that's the 5th. That's the 5th and final generator. No ed in play. Let's see how this goes. Can he bring this back? If you're Eternal here, what do? Do you go for the save? Try secure those stages?
Where is the totem? That's what it kind of depends on here. As we see, the totem is kind of over here in the TL wall, sort of close to the door. Not a terrible spot, but also not the best because it's kind of exposed towards the hook. As Ward here moving away from the hook, and I think that kind of tells Team Eternal what's going on here. Goes for a shot onto the hill, not going to land. If he gets anybody here, would think he would want Kexo, who is the fresh hook. Nightlight with the balance landing off the hill. That shot not going to land. Ward here, he's fishing for something. Door's going to open. Misses another shot there onto Survivor, going for the unhook. And now Ward is going to be going back to the hook. Will they be able to sniff out this totem, or the fact that Noah is even in play at all? Looks like Dan is at the TL wall where the totem is, but Ward is going back and forth, kind of threatening a shot through the window onto that totem. This is pretty intense here, as the unhook is basically free right now, but Spitz is going to go second. It's going to be a shot in the gate here onto Nightlight. It's going to miss. Nightlight probably going to be forced out of the door. Yeah, he's just going to leave, as now going back towards the TL wall where that totem is. He might have a max range shot here onto Dan if he's able to land it. Checks the totem quickly. Nobody's there. He's going to path back around the back shack.
That is Spitz on the totem, I think.
Yeah, Spitz on the totem, gets hit with a max range shot, and wait, he's actually just going to let him do the totem? Spitz is death hook. Okay. He's on a timer here. He needs to land a shot before Spitz finishes the totem. That's going to be coming in about 10 seconds. He's got one shot to hit onto Dan here, and he does not hit it in time. Spitz finishes the totem, and Dan going to be kind of broken out of the chain here with the cigar. He has a long way to go to make it to the door.
Yeah, I feel like not going for Spitz there, you sort of you risk that happening, and unfortunately it doesn't pay off. Trying to get that quick down onto Dan, but that indecisiveness gave him the distance he needed for him to throw him to totem anyway. So yeah, really unfortunate there, and that's going to be 4 survivors out. I mean, 3 stages, 4 Ward there, and yeah, puts the pressure on the survivors for the return fixture.
Yep, and just like I said before the game, Zach, it's really unfortunate, but Ward missed his first 3 or 4 shots there in those chases, and Team Eternal just cranked the generators. That's just kind of what can happen in these slinger sets. If you're not perfect in your chases on this killer, survivors will just pre-drop pallets, hold W, abuse the fact that you're 4.4 movement speed, and then you get a result like that where there's only 3 stages on the board for your team. So Team Eternal really coming back here like I expected in the more classic comp sets.
Yep, absolutely. And we are going to see how Eternal play on the killer side after this quick short break.
Welcome back to the Wrecker's Yard after that short break. We have Nightlight on the Deathslinger here, looking to even this series up for Team Eternal. Not a very steep win condition here for him, and you can see that reflected in how aggressively he's going into this corrupted area. It's going to be first chase now onto Ward, and he gets stuck on a rock there. Gets hit by just the tip of that lunge from Nightlight, and that's going to activate his blood favor here. Ward, he needs to hold W away from this affected area, but he's unable to. But the blood favor is going to go away here. So after that first activation, the pallets will no longer be blocked. Very nice find there from Team Severance onto the totems, and they need Ward to last for a very long time if they want any chance of winning this deck.
Yeah, really nice fake out there on the pallet. And like you say, they need to play a perfect game right now. They need this chases to be long. They need to get on those generators. Of course, Corrupt's gonna slow them down a little bit as he continues to play this rock. And yeah, I think this is gonna lead to a quick down, which is not what they need. Nightlight's gonna pick up now and try and find maybe a pain res hook to slow down that first generator. And yeah, already 25% of the way to winning right now. So we see big progress on that first, well, one of the first 2 generators being worked on. I think it was Henry that got hit with the pain res there. I believe he is just sort of looking around this area. Sees a gen being worked on here, so knows it's a survivor probably in the area. And yeah, a very, very good start for Nightlight in terms of this win condition. With the 2 gens being worked on, he knows that there are probably a few survivors around. So trying to get information on where they are whilst this survivor is on the hook is going to be really good for him to have that information. See some scratch marks as someone tries to go back to that generator, and yeah, he's going to cam this to secure second stage, and I mean, they need to get the survivor off the hook pretty soon, I would say.
And they need to do it before second stage comes in here. Nightlight is camping because he knows he can afford to here. And unfortunate here for Hallows, but I think he's going to be able to get it before the second stage comes in. Good attempt there from Nightlight, but it doesn't really matter that Ward didn't go to second because Nightlight only needs, I believe, 4 hooks. It's going to be another Pain Resonance, a trade onto Hallows there. Even if he's the Deliverance survivor, Nightlight will not care too much about that. He's sitting in a little triangle of generators right there. So even if he's just sitting in front of the hook and camping, there's still going to be 3 generators that the survivors just can't work on here, as Hit is going to come in onto Cartney, who's going to get away with the overcome. Will Nightlight commit to this? It can be very difficult to chase an overcome survivor with a 4.4 killer. As Cartney going to pre-drop the pallet there. Good play here from him. But Nightlight, he knows that he just has to break that. So not a lot of time bought. We saw in the last trial, Ward, he kept trying to play those tiles with the pre-dropped pallets, and it did not work out for him at all. So Nightlight is going to be walking Cartney down and getting the easy shot on the window. It's going to be his 3rd fresh hook. So I believe that is the tie condition for him, as 1 generator pops in the distance, 3 generators to go. And it's not looking good for Team Severance.
It doesn't. The pressure from Nightlight getting to the survivors. He's finding these chases very quick, and they need longer chase times for this to really work out. And yeah, as he hooks Cartney, he finds another chase, and a gen pops there in the background, but still 1 stack of pain res to slow the game down. And yeah, I mean, I think that... Oh, what
nice shot there from Nightlight. Through the window onto Inu. And that's going to be Nightlight's 4th hook here. And I believe that's going to be the 4th fresh hook here. And I think that's actually the win for him. Because in the last game, there were 4 stages on 3 survivors, because Spitz went to second stage in the end game.
Yep, getting that 4th unique survivor, and just again being able to find these quick chases. I think for Severance now is just trying to secure the best result possible.
Yep, so Cartney here going to get shot on the truck there. That's a little bit too far for Nightlight to get the swing onto, though. 1 generator to go. Nightlight has already secured his win condition, guys. So 4 stages, 4 fresh is all he needed to win this. Any more is just a little bit extra for him, as he's going to find Ward here on the short side of this tile. It's going to be another free hit. Ward remembers that he needs to drop that pallet, as he almost just ran through it. Going to not take the vault onto the window, instead goes to the outside, the short side of the pallet. Nightlight here, he's looking for that same shot that he got earlier, but Ward is not going to fall for that. He saw what happened to Henu in the last chase, and he's actually going to generate Bloodlust and leave. Nightlight may be looking for a more advantageous chase here, as yeah, he's going to ignore Ward at that tile and try to find somebody out of position.
Yeah, just 1 generator left, so Survivor's doing really well to get those gens through. As he commits to Hanu here, missed 2 shots. Doesn't probably want to commit this. Knows this gen's been worked on in Shack. As he is missing these shots, not able to find the connection, so the game definitely slowed down for him. The quick downs he was getting before, the survivors seem to be playing really well and getting on those shots. As he misses again onto the Shack pallet, it's going to be a really safe area for Ward here to run away. Be surprised if he takes chase. No, he doesn't. He walks away to try and find this survivor working on the last gen, and we see the speed increase as Noah's in play. Yeah, so I think that they've done really well to get these gens done. And quite a close result, if you ask me, Prion.
Yeah, very well played here from Nightlight. But survivors of Severance, they really kept it close. I mean, somebody is going to go down in the end game here, and I think Nightlight is not breaking this pallet just because he wants to limit test and see if he can outplay this tile. He's not going to be able to, though, as survivor is going to hold W away towards a significantly weaker tile. Henny going to be not going for the window there, kind of predicting Nightlight's double back, but Nightlight predicted his prediction. So Henny going to be going down on that sort of hybrid 4-lane tile, and he's going to be put up on the hook with Noed. The totem is in the broken truck, so if you are Severance here, I think you just take these outs, take the L, and kind of go into the next... oh, the totem is actually going to get done. So Ward here, able to do the totem, activating his overzealous in the end game. That'll surely help him fix a lot of generators here, won't it, Zach?
Yeah, definitely. Wants that 10% speed. And unfortunately,
But it was a hex totem, so it's 20% speed.
Oh, is that so? Look at me with my knowledge. Very good stuff. I mean, they think they would just leave, right? They're just going to reset. Do they want to go for the save, do you think? Do you think that now that they realize it's over, they just want to not let their last teammate die?
Yeah, in a situation like this where the result is already secured, they're going to send everybody in here just to try to practice, just in case they have this situation when they are actually not secured in the result yet.
Yep, altruism doing very well there. And the unhook is going to go through. Oh no, it doesn't actually. Nightlight able to stop that. And yeah, so the unhook is going to come through. Got 4 injuries, and I think someone's got to be going down here. A bit of a botched save, I would say, considering the shot on that rock. He was able to cancel that and stop it. But yep, that's going to be ward down. They going to stay. I mean, surely they leave now. I think this in-game time is getting close. Yeah, that's going to be basement. I cannot imagine they will stay here. But good attempt as they run out, and that is going to be game. So really well played from Nightlight to get that victory there. As we predicted, Eternal in their comfort zone and making a statement to Severance. They're not here to mess around. They are showing why they're the dominant team.
So that's going to be series now tied 1-1 with 1 tie in favor of nobody, actually, as we go into the next set here to see who can bring us to match point. It's going to be very interesting here. Team Eternal having all of the momentum from the set that we're going into.
I believe it's a Nurse set, I think.
Yeah, okay. So, yep, the Nurse set, and unfortunately for Severance, Deathslinger was their pick. So that is definitely going to be a little bit of a disappointment for them. And now they are forced to go into Eternal's killer pick, which is the Nurse. Going into a set like Nurse against Eternal when you don't have the momentum is definitely going to be a challenge for Severance.
Yeah, and I think in terms of competitive scene, scrims, everything, all the practice that they do, Nurse is probably the killer that they like to face the most, and I imagine is comfortable in terms of survivor and killer sides. We do expect a 4K in these sets, but yeah, like you say, very scary. Going up against the favorites, the best team on their pick, and especially such a strong killer, has got to be scary. So I'm sure Severance are feeling the pressure right now, to be honest.
Yeah, but if you're Severance, the underdog here, you really got to keep it together. Just remember that you deserve to be here, and you have taken sets from Team Eternal already. You tied them on the Sonico set. Ward has been playing incredibly well today. Just he needs to shake off that Slinger game, and I'm assuming he's going to be playing the Nurse for Severance. I don't know for sure if he's their Nurse player, but everybody on Severance just needs to shake that game off and reset.
Yeah, absolutely. And such a strong performance against Eternal, I think they can be proud of as the underdogs. It sets the tone for their play for the rest of the tournament. Not trying to call out any results, but I think that they can be really proud of how they've performed so far. And like you say, just shake it off, go into this and lock in, and we'll see how they do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Nurse can be like quite a intense set. Trying to secure 4K1s, 4K2s, slugging, but they can also go downhill really fast too. We've seen a 4K3 during this tournament on Nurse, which I believe was Kichaze's Nurse during the group stage. So these are, Ward showing he's a good killer. Nightlight, obviously, very skilled. So we'll see what they can do. Looking forward to seeing how they play this.
Yeah, so it looks like the survivors now are getting ready into the lobby. A little bit of needing people to change their names. Unfortunately, a big problem in the competitive scene. Everybody is always changing their names all the time, and you need everybody to have the exact same name that they signed up with when you're in a game. That's just how the rules are. And these guys, they just seem like they can't go one day without changing their name.
We do want to know who are watching. That is an important part.
Yep.
But I sort of understand because I kind of do the same. I do like to change my name every couple of days. I don't know what it is. I get bored of it. I want to change it. Maybe they feel the same, but in a tournament setting, definitely want to be keeping it the same as that is happening. So Prion, I am curious, who do you think is going to take this? I mean, we could say last time Eternal in the comfort zone, and it's now their pick. So you would think for sure even more so that they're going to take this. I'm praying for Severance, and hopefully they can put in a good performance. But it's looking bleak. What I would say.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there, Zach. I think Eternal is just going to continue rolling here. And again, we don't know what map we're going to be on for the All Hallows League Nurse set here, because the maps were set for the Halloween balancing. But remember that in the All Hallows League, in the normal sets, the killer chooses the map, and the survivors don't know what map it is until they load in. So it's going to be a mystery for Severance here, as
Absolutely.
like we've been talking about. Eternal has all of the momentum here, going into their own pick. Nightlight on the Nurse, after a dominant performance in the Slinger game. So the map not being known for the survivors is just another thing weighing against Severance here. This is where Severance needs to dig deep and kind of get that underdog win, because if they lose it here, then everything is going to be stacked against them in the Dark Lord set.
Yeah, absolutely. Just learning here, we'll probably want a strong couple of chases early into the game to just set the tone for them and give them that momentum going into it. And of course, some maps for Nurse are terrifying. Some maps for Nurse are a bit more favorable. You would hope for one maybe with a bit more sort of foliage and line of sight breakers to sort of support you in chase with the blinks. So we will see as we go into this what map we have. And I believe that is Rekajard again. So pretty standard setting, very balanced map. But maybe a bit scary against the Nurse as he's already found Chase with Lethal Pursuer. You see that bad man's last breath giving undetectable after each blink hit. And I believe it's Henu currently being chased.
I don't think Nightlight actually charged up that second blink in time. He just held the blink onto Henu with only one remaining, but that's not going to matter too much as he already has his first down there. And lets everybody on the broadcast thank Nightlight for wearing the default pillowcase head on Nurse so that we don't get some insane visual bugs when he blinks. If you're an aspiring comp Nurse out there, please wear the default pillowcase head, because the visual bugs that can come from like the veils and other ones are absolutely insane on the stream. So Nightlight first hook there onto Henu. Generator is being doubled on the other side of the shack here, and I'm curious to see whether Nightlight is going to kind of go for another chase here or just kind of proxy this side of the map.
Yeah, I'm such an early down. He's not going to lose too much pressure from the generators. Applying Eruption, you can see that onto that gen. Has Addy and Painrez as well to support reaching those Scourge hooks. And yep, Gen pops out in the background. that one was a little bit progressed, but he's relatively close to the gen with progress, so pretty ideal first hook for him. And I think we see a survivor there around Shaq, maybe trying to lurk for the save. Yeah, it is Ward. He was found, and he is the Deliverance survivor, and that is unfortunate because I don't think he's going to let him unhook here. Yeah, gonna try and find Ward here. Henu does go second stage, and really unfortunate he does find me there, but actually onto Cartney, so it might allow Ward to go for the unhook. But yeah, I think he's onto it a little bit. Yeah, he sees that he's trying to cross the map, but he's holding this. You'll see there that there's a straight line through the middle of the map where he can just see people crossing over. So he is just holding that, and he's just not going to let them cross over. I think that ideally the unhook comes through now. We do hope, and it does.
Yeah, and Nightlight, he smells blood in the water here. He has everyone injured. That's why he leaves Ward on the ground here. Henu went to second stage and is now going to take the borrowed time hit. If he's able to get Henu out of the game at 4 gens remaining with everybody else on Severance injured, oh, this is just such a strong position for Nightlight. I hope he recharges his blinks though, because Henu does have the decisive strike. He's actually not going to pick him up just yet though. Partney is the obsession, so he might actually not 100% know that the decisive strike is in play for Henu, but Partney now in chase on the edge map. Not for long though, as Nightlight wants to try to bait some sort of heal onto Henu. He's going back now. Decisive strike has about 10 seconds remaining, and Nightlight still not picking up just yet. There's a serious chance that it's going to run out.
Yeah, and that's going to be devastating if that does run out, because then Henu is dead at 4 gens, and the pressure is going to be immense. Getting those injuries so quick. Looks like I think I saw Alice on a gen, so they are getting some sort of progression. Yeah, I think he does smell that decisive, and I think it did run out. Prion, so that is going to be Henu dead at 4 gens. Absolutely devastating. Not the start that Severance want at all. We talked about how they just needed to brush it off and lock in, but Nightlight just showing why he is one of the best nurses that you do see. Already finding his second chase, sees the gen being worked on. That is unfortunate because that looks like probably one of the, oh, never mind, Den does pop, so they are practically at 2 gens. With this pressure, I mean, they might decide to crank out a little bit more. As he tries to find the survivor in the area who was working on this gen, and I believe it was the injured Tap, who is in the corner of the map. And yeah, we see Eruption blow on 2 gens, I believe that was, I saw.
Yeah, there's Eruption on 2 gens over there on the other side of the map, especially the one that Hallows had been working on before. So this is going to be another pain resonance for Nightlight. And with Cartney still injured, this is so dangerous for Severance. He cannot get found here. And I mean, Ward can't get found either, but somebody has to get this unhook.
Yeah, we see a repeat of the first scenario. He is on that same hook, I believe. So he's just going to be able to monitor the map and stop any survivors from crossing. And he is hooked sort of in the area of that rush generator. So they're unable to rush him, but the unhook does come through. He does want to commit to Ward. Everyone's injured, so whoever he finds, he is hopefully going to get that quick down onto Ward. And I believe Ward has not been hooked yet, so this is going to be another stack of pain res. And he's going to be able to go back into that area, making it with Agi. And you see he is quite favorable of this area, probably because he knows there is progression here, and he knows that the survivors are in this area. And yeah, he is just playing this really well, and he's getting value from these regression packs to just stop them from doing the gens. More Eruption applied. And yeah, he's going to be looking around the area to see if he can find the survivors. They did opt to reset. So yeah, I mean, what do you do here as Severance in this situation?
Severance here, I think you need to focus on letting Ward sit on the hook, not getting found, and working that generator that is all the way across the map. You need to get something done here, and that's what Cartney is doing. So smart play here from Severance. You need to abandon these generators that are anywhere near Nightlight's blink range. At least get yourself down to a 4K2 win condition, because Nightlight has a section of 4 generators here that are just in his blink range. with the furthest one away being Shack. That's why he's so content to just sit in this area and wait for the unhooker to come.
Yeah, and Nurse can cover a lot of distance, and just in an area like this, I mean, Wreckage Yard, relatively small map, so ideal for the Nurse to hold down this area of the map, like practically a whole corner. So I think they've realized that that is essentially what they need to do, and Alos getting found there. Don't think Nightlight wants to leave the area though. Just wants to absolutely secure these gens. And of course, only Cartney now can go for the unhook without potentially failing to trade. He has good vision on the map, so it's going to be really hard. I don't know if they want to just let Ward die, to be honest, and just try and do a generator. But like you said, the 4 gens in the area in the blink range, it's going to be very hard for them to do that.
Yeah, and I hope you guys can hear us okay, because we have an interesting audio bug going on now. The struggle stage music was playing over the killer, as Cartney is going to get found. He does get the unhook, but he's of course going to go down for it. Looks like Hallows is working the main building generator. Blood Rush is potentially in play here for Cartney, or for Ward, my bad, as he's going to miss his blinks there. Exhaustion still available for Ward here. He's waiting for Nightlight to charge. Goes for the Blood Rush. And it's gonna work out there. Nice play there from Ward. Waiting for the perfect moment to use that Blood Rush. He gets the second sprint burst. And I think that's gonna cause Nightlight to leave him because that Shack generator is getting so close to being done.
Yeah, he was really away from that area. And you can tell that they really want to try and register this. It was quite a good chase from Ward with the use of that Blood Rush though. Maybe claw back a little bit of pressure, but Cartney's still on the floor, and I believe Cartney is the last stack of payments, I believe, which is ideal. So going to take him over. We'll see. So opting to go basement now, which I would say is pretty scary. Going to be able to sort of monitor the area. I mean, it is the same sort of situation really with each hook. He just is in the area, knows where the gens are, and yeah, they're just splitting gens. So I do wonder if Cartney being fresh hook, the final fresh hook survivor, they just want to sort of hold Nightlight in between 2 gens. Would be the priority for them right now, because I don't think that they can get these saves off without Nightlight punishing them.
Yeah, absolutely. These generators that are further away from the Shack have little to no progress now. I mean, they've been hit with Pain Resonance and Eruption over and over here, and with Hallows injured and Ward, I mean, needing to stay alive here, I legitimately don't think that Severance is going to be able to pop into the generator.
Yeah, the pressure's on, and you can see it just... to be fair, the generators are getting progress. You can hear it sort of as he approaches them. Finds Ward actually in the area, and the chase is going to start.
Ward gets found here. Looks like he's going to be pathing towards the Shack to try to trade here for Cartney. But no, Cartney's going to go second. They're just going to leave him on the hook. Now, where is Hallows here? Is he doing a gen? Tries to go for the pallet mine game, but it's not going to work here, especially not when Nightlight has full line of sight vision of you. And he's just going to take the injury and go elsewhere, because he knows that whenever he's in chase with Ward, Hallows is going to be working a gen. Save comes in on the Cartney. Hallows is going to go into the corner and go down, and he is going to go for the pickup here. Unbreakable not going to come into play for the tap here, as now all survivors are down on hook. All survivors are either injured or hooked, and the only generator with progress is going to be near this hook.
Yeah, I mean, Nightlight has complete freedom to just do what he wants. Doesn't need to take the chases too far. Understands probably what Severance are thinking. And look at the spread of Eruption, to be honest. Like, it is... yeah, it looks dire, and I think it's just a matter of time now. I guess, what do you do? I suppose you reset if you're Cartney and Ward, and just try and try and crank up with these gens, but it's just really hard. It's very difficult to say because it is the scenario of holding this area for Nightlight, and this gen is getting closer and closer, and I think they're just probably communications going wild, calling out when he leaves to try to edge that gen further and further forwards, watching himself. But
Ward is looking to make a play with the 99 sprint burst here. That's really the only option that he has here. He has to dodge out on 2 blinks from Nightlight and then sprint burst towards the hook. This is really a Hail Mary from Ward, but it's all Severance has here. He's going towards the hook now. Nightlight is holding his blink back toward the hook, waiting to see if he commits. Blink is going to come in, and Ward is actually just going to get the trade. He now has tenacity, but Nightlight is just going to pick him up. He knows that this is the death. The eruption would have landed there onto that generator that Cartney was on there. Now they're going to be splitting on the generators. 50% progress here on this one over in the corner. And it's going to be probably Cartney and Chase now as he's driven away from that generator that really had significant progress.
Cartney needs a good chase here, to be honest. Alice, I think it was at 55% on that gen. So if Cartney can last here, then... Well, he doesn't last. So that is going to be Cartney down and probably smelling a tap over here. Yes, he was working on that gen. I believe that was probably their only chance to get that gen done. So really unfortunate, and I think we'll probably see the 4K happen now.
Yep, so it's going. He definitely saw a scratch mark there in the right corner of his screen. So the tap is over there. That's actually going to be the pickup coming in. The Fragile Wheeze is making that take a little bit longer here, but the pickup is going to happen right in Nightlight's view, and Severance is going to stay alive for just a little bit longer here. Going to be holding his blink on to Hallows here. Goes for the pallet stun, not going to land here. So great accuracy there from Nightlight, and the death is going to come in on Hallows. And remember, if all of the generators are not completed, the hatch does not matter. So Nightlight now going to be searching for Cartney to secure this 4K2.
Yeah, and probably has a general idea of where he ran. Looks like it was up towards the top of that kind of close hatch, and yeah, it is just a manhunt right now. And yeah, Cartney going to say hi. Unfortunately, going to take a smack to the face and is going to die, and that is going to be 4K at 2 generators remaining as he goes for the Mori. Really good stuff. Played the map pretty well. Has an unfortunate 4gen there, and the chase is unfortunately in going deep into that area. I mean, the Agi really helped him reach that hook, so he could maintain that area of the map. And I think that's really what helped him sort of stop the gens being done.
It was really also the tunnel out onto Henu so early in the game.
Of course, yeah.
Allowed him to just like continue forcing trades and hook in the middle of that 4gen that he had. And I mean, for another killer, that might not have been a 4gen, but for Nurse on Records Yard, it absolutely is. The map choice really came into play for him there as well. And this is kind of just as we predicted, Eternal continuing to dominate here after the earlier upsets. So it's going to be a ton of pressure on Severance's killer here to keep up and keep their team in this game.
Yep, absolutely. So to win here would be to complete 4 generators. Probably a bit easier for Eternal to know that, and they can go into this game knowing full well what they need to do to win. Yeah, and I think for Ward, he needs quick chases, he needs quick downs, needs to land those blinks, and might opt to play the same strategy. We'll see. As the players are loading in, and well, not loading in, but lobby is getting set up. It is difficult. I think there's a lot of pressure on Ward here to perform. He has performed so far in this match, showing us some impressive play with his 4K1 in the first game and getting that 4K on to the tier 3 Myers set too. Just absolutely fantastic. So we'll see how he performs on a killer like Nurse, who is obviously S tier, very strong. So I'm looking forward to see what Ward can do. But he's got to be feeling the pressure, absolutely, against such a strong team of survivors who know how to play against Nurse. They've done it a million times before. And as a new player, he's gonna, as you said, looking to really show what he can do here.
Yeah, and to meet this win condition here, Ward doesn't just need fast chases. He needs Eternal Survivors to be totally out of position. He needs unhooks to be failed, and he needs a tunnel out extremely fast, as well as hooks inside a good generator spread, just like Nightlight had. So a lot of things going to be asked of Ward in this game, and if he's not able to do that, then Severance is going to have their backs against the wall in the Dark Lord set, and if we do get to the Dark Lord set with Eternal winning this match, I believe that would be only a win is possible for Severance. They would have to win that Dark Lord set, or the game just ends because of the tie earlier.
Yep. Severance up against it for sure. I do wonder if maybe the Dark Lord set would be ideal for Severance, being sort of such a non-standard game like we saw earlier. Eternal in their comfort zone right now with the Nurse and Slinger, but 3 sets, sort of non-standard to comp. So we'll see. I don't know. It is all to play for, but they're playing really well. They're playing really well. They're doing very well to play around such a strong team. And not much to say. I think we just have to wait and see. Ward's definitely going to need a bit of luck, I think, as well. That hook that Nightlight was. I mean, I noticed that 4-gen, the hook that he was going back to was a pain res. So, I mean, just everything really sort of matters. Everything needs to go right. Everything needs to go well for Ward here to perform.
Yeah, and Ward now for Team Severance, he needs to come off of that disappointing Slinger performance and really destroy Team Eternal here. He needs an incredible result here to keep Team Severance even in this match, or else we'll be going to match point for Team Eternal. And Severance here today they've really surprised us. They have been giving Team Eternal a run for their money early in this series, but Eternal now has brought the momentum back into their favor, and they have not let go of it since they won that Slinger set.
Yep, just loading in here as we get this next game underway, and we'll see what we have in front of us in just a second. So Wreckage Yard again, and Corrupt Intervention is in play, and I believe he spotted out his first survivor. See Ultimate Weapon actually in play on Ward's build, a little bit different. We do see Corrupt, Eruption, and Grim Embrace, I believe, different to the Pain Res that Nightlight chose. As he tries to find a first chase, he needs his first chase fast, and does get an early hit onto Nightlight. It's going to take chase around Crane over here, trying to break line of sight so that the Nurse cannot accurately blink, but that is going to be a nice quick down onto Nightlight, which is exactly what Ward needs. He needs this. This is exactly what we were talking about. He needs them to be out of position. He needs to be quick in the chases, and yeah, ideally what he needs. And as you notice there, the Deliverance on Nightlight, the curse striking again.
Can he interrupt that generator that's being doubled over there? It looks like he might be able to actually. Grim Embrace going to come in. Things are falling into place for Ward in the early game. Like you said, the Deliverance Survivor has just been hooked. He needs to get over to that generator at the teal wall and apply Eruption on it. That would be the next step for him, in my opinion. That one was being doubled. It's going to have a lot of progress. Yeah, if he goes too far away, he's going to allow an unhook on a Nightlight for free. He needs to make these survivors feel like they can't go for the save.
Ideally needs a weapon too. See if he can find someone in the area, which he does too. And we hear a Sheva, I believe, that's Kexo off, and sees him running towards Shaq. I do believe this trade probably will go through.
I don't like him blinking towards this other side of the map when there's a survivor in basement he needs to protect. And now, I mean, somebody's gotten into the basement there. Okay, but it's going to be a trade, so nicely done there for Ward. He's going to get the trade onto Kexo. Deliverance Survivor was the first hook. So not 100% sure what he's going to choose to do here. He is undetectable, so we don't 100% know where he is until we switch back to killer POV. He's going to be going for the tunnel out on the Nightlight. Very bold choice here from Ward, but it's going to work out. Second down here onto Nightlight, and hopefully he can find a generator to carry him towards here, or he might just go back to the basement. Is Kexo still in the basement? This could be really dangerous for Team Eternal, as Kexo is going to be picked up in the basement, and they're going to be body blocking the stairs here. I don't think he can get Nightlight to the hook here. And yeah, Nightlight falls off of the killer's shoulders here. Nice heads up play from Spitz there to take a hit, and the blind comes in from Kexo as well on the Sheva. And now Ward has nothing. 3 generators remaining, nobody on a hook, and that play there, that was so greedy to go back to the basement knowing that 2 survivors were still down there.
Yeah, but I think that's what he needed to do. He needed to just take that chance, because if that works out for him, he's in a really good position. But yeah, Eternal not letting him get away with that, and has essentially changed the pace of the game for him. Does find Nightlight again, but this is only going to be second stage, unfortunately, after slowing down that tunnel out. You see Spitz there resetting Kexo, and yeah, not in such a good position as before. Dan running over here trying to prepare for the unhook.
Yeah, and I mean, Nightlight might be tunneled out, but this is at nowhere near the pace that Nightlight was able to tunnel out Henu in the last game. 3 generators to go when Henu died at 4 generators in the last game, and Nightlight only has just been placed onto his second stage. So Eruption going to be put down on that generator there near the hook, but Team Eternal should feel content to just let Nightlight sit here.
Yeah, he finds Spitz here at Shack. I'd imagine he probably wants to look after the generators a little bit, knowing that he's just really getting pressured. Applying Eruption to these gens, as many as possible, would be good for him, because if he gets that second down, then he can spread that regression really nicely. Only seen one use of ultimate weapon. Would like to see it a bit more to help him with that information. But does find Dan anyway, going through the trade. Might opt to slug here to get Nightlight out of this game, and Spitz and Kexo, we'll see where they are. Might be on a generator. He just secured this down to Nightlight. Yep, so there's going to be the tunnel out. Quite nicely and quite fast. As fast as he probably likes it. And then, yeah, Dan's got Unbreakable, so going to be able to look after himself, as we see Kexo on that 3rd generator. Seems that we're doubling it. I think they just do want to get these gens out as fast as possible. And yeah, Dan's picked himself up, and he's going to be checking these gens over here. Has come to the one that they were doubling. Applying Eruption to it. And yeah, I don't know if Ward might have forgotten he's got ultimate weapon. He needs to get this information. Yeah, okay, so he goes for the locker. That's good. Sees the screen from the Sheva. I believe it was just Kexo who is injured. So if he can get the down here, he will get that regression secured on them. Unfortunately, doesn't get the blink onto the crane. It's going to allow Kexo to run away. Dan resetting himself, and the podcast hit on to Kexo there. But yeah, I think they're just trying to work on these generators, and Ward's feeling a little bit of pressure, I think.
What a blink there onto Dan. That was completely blind there, and he gets the lunge onto Dan there. So Kexo needs to be picked up. There really is a chance here for Ward. If he's able to get these survivors down on the ground, one more generator is the tie condition for Team Eternal. If they are able to get that one more generator done, seems like these generators don't have a lot of progress. They had been doubling that one that was on the TL wall, but it's been regressing from Eruption for quite a while now, as we see Spitz across the map has a generator about 60%, but Dan is in chase here, and if Dan goes down, then there's going to be nobody to pick up Kexo because Spitz is sticking the generator. Dan needs to last here. He needs to have a great chase, and he is so far. Generator at about 80% now. Dan has dodged out on multiple sets of blinks ever since he got injured here. Blinks coming in here. Dan taps backwards, but he's not going to be able to dodge the second one. That is going to be Spitz. He's going to finish the tie condition generator here, but that's going to reveal his position and almost certainly secure a tie for Team Severance. Now, I think Unbreakable might have been on Dan.
Yeah, Dan did use that. He
If we
used
can,
Unbreakable, so there's no way to
okay,
get back up right now.
no way to get back up, and that's gonna be a tie secured by Ward. Extremely good performance from him. He's come back from that really disappointing Slinger game and just dismantled Team Eternal on this Nurse. Exactly what Team Severance needed to stay in this game, and now we're gonna be stuck with 2 ties in our scoreline.
Yeah, what a performance. Ward showing us he is here to perform, especially against a team like Eternal. Such a strong performance in Nightlight, and to just match that is kind of Giga Chat, to be honest. Really good stuff. And yeah, I think Severance are really in a good position to contest Eternal in this final set.
Yep, so that's going to be every survivor except Kexo hooked. Not going to be able to find him just yet. He's suspecting that Deliverance might be in play, so that's why he's staying near Dan's hook. He might not be 100% sure that he killed Nightlight, who had Deliverance. It's interesting these days which survivor the teams choose to put the Deliverance on. You see a lot of them do it with Sprint Burst, but then you also see a lot of teams these days doing Deliverance with Overcome, which I actually think is the better play, but it's only the better play against like really strong killers like Nurse.
Yep, gonna be watching Dan struggle here on the hook as he just waits for him to go to the second stage. And then Kexor will probably bleed out before that happens. So that is going to be the 4K secured. Good stuff from Ward here. And yeah, I mean, everything sort of went well for him. I think the decision to commit the gen did lead to the tie condition, but I'm not sure with the pressure that he had. Like it was pretty close, but towards the sort of mid game to late game, it kind of fell apart for Eternal a little bit, and yeah, just leading to this result here. So really good stuff. As we hoped, we are going to get a Dracula game, Prion, which I'm super excited to see. To be honest, I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to it. And the final game of this match. Yeah, I don't know what to expect
I'm
from
not
it, really.
100% sure how these 2 ties are affecting the scoreline and what would happen after this Dark Lord game. So we should probably wait for our amazing staff to confirm kind of what the scoreline is and what the stakes are for this Dark Lord game. What could be happening afterwards, depending on the result.
Which they just confirming right now. But yeah, I mean, what a contest, to be honest, to get to this point against Eternal of all teams. Severance really performing.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the match officials just confirmed that. So after the Dark Lord game, so we're still 1-1. We are currently 1-1 with 2 ties. So whoever wins this Dark Lord set, we're going to be after the Dark Lord set. We will go back to the Sadako set and replay that. So for example, let's say Team Eternal wins the Dark Lord set, right? And it'll be 2-1 in favor of Team Eternal. Then we would go back to the Sadako set, and then if Team Eternal wins the Sadako set, then it's over. But that would give the team that only has 1 win a chance to tie, and then if the team that only had 1 win wins the Sadako set, then we would also replay the Nurse set in like a final replay, and then that would decide who gets to 3 points. And if they just continue to tie, then I think we just keep replaying the tied sets until they don't tie.
So definitely a long road ahead for the games. But just, I think we'll see. We'll see. Dark Lord set coming in as the players are getting ready in the lobby. What sort of playstyle are you expecting from this Dracula set, Prion?
See, that's a good question because I need to refresh myself on what the balancing is for the Dark Lord. Because what I think we're going to be seeing here is going to really depend on what add-ons are banned for him. So I need to pull that up real quick because there's a lot of add-ons for the Dark Lord that significantly affect his playstyle.
Yeah, absolutely, because he has those 3 different forms: Dark Lord, the Wolf, and the Bat form, and the add-ons to affect each one of those. So getting use out of the power with the addition to the add-ons will, like you say, probably dictate how the set is played.
Yep.
But
Okay. So I've just pulled up the balancing for the Dark Lord, and there's 3 banned add-ons. 2 of them are the ones that randomly create pillars of fire, either in the exit gate or around the Dark Lord when a generator is completed. And then the other one that is banned, thank goodness the rules committee knows what they're doing and banned the Medusa's hair add-on. I hate that add-on so much. It is a free 15% hinder every time he teleports to a window or pallet. That add-on is so cringe. All of the Dark Lords in pubs run that add-on and think they're really good at the game, just 15% hindering you um, just by pressing a button in bat form. So thank you, Rules Committee, for taking that add-on out of here. The other strong one that's unbanned that I think we might see would probably be the Lapis Lazuli, which is the one that blocks a window that he teleports to for, I think, 15 seconds. But as far as the third add-on goes, I think it's going to be pretty variable because most of the really cringy Dark Lord players that you meet in public matches are running Lapis Lazuli and Medusa's hair. So with Medusa's hair out of the picture, I'm not exactly sure what the second add-on would be.
yeah, I'm not sure. And like you say, the Medusa's hair and the holding hellfire at the pallets, those frustrating things about this killer that I at least experienced too. Um, I'd like to see sort of a mix of forms, in chases, like in general, just to see how they play this. These are the best players, and they're going to know what they need to do. And yeah, I think Dracula is quite a fun killer to play as, from my personal experience. Just to see like this contest, it's gonna be interesting, and
Yeah,
maybe out
I
of Eternal's comfort zone. I don't know.
I hope Ward plays a little bit more interestingly than the Dark Lords that I play against, who never use the wolf form because they're not good enough to use it, and they just spam Medusa's hair and Lapis Lazuli until they down you. So, uh, gonna
Yeah,
be exciting here to see if we actually get some use out of all of the forms. That's something that I notice a lot with people that play Dracula, is they just never use the wolf, either because they think it's bad or they're just not good enough with it. It is definitely the hardest one of the forms to use.
yeah, it is. And it can be quite powerful in certain scenarios. I know, depending on sort of where you're chasing, dog or the wolf form. I was gonna say dog form, but it's not correct. Wolf form is pretty advantageous, and I find it quite hard to dodge personally. I think when the killer first came out, everyone was sort of trying to test the limits of the forms, and it is quite oppressive. So I hope that we don't see a Hellfire Andy playstyle, and it is the multiple forms used as we load in to the game. It is finally that time that we've been excited for, Prion. So let's see what awaits us as we go into this match.
Yeah, but I believe the map for the Dark Lord set was actually hidden from the teams until very recently. Either that or it was one of the teams that didn't know what the map was. But it's going to be the Wretched Shop here for the Dark Lord. I think that's a good map for him, kind of reflective of his strength as a killer. He is really quite strong. So we're going to be starting out the match in bat form here. Got Corrupt Intervention, Blood Favor, Grim Embrace, and Noed. Very interesting build here from Ward. A complete lack of generator regression. only the generator blocking with the Grim Embrace here. So maybe he'll be going for fresh hooks here, trying to find a lot of chases here. And actually, interesting yellow add-ons here from Ward, as the first Hellfire Pillar is going to miss. No Lapis Lazuli, so no blocked windows here in the bat form. He immediately switches into the wolf form. Going to be going for a lunge here around the pallet. Not going to be able to juke it on the fire barrel as Dan eats a hit from the wolf. Blood Favor now activating on the shack. He has to hold W here, but he really can't because of the bat form. So the only place he has to go is this double window tile. Now, second Hellfire maybe coming in here, and Dan is actually just going to go down in the corner. And this is the strength of the Dark Lord here, especially with the Blood Favor. He catches up so fast with the bats, and the survivors can't get out of the Blood Favor area.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we were hoping to see the use of different forms, and he's used all three in one chase. So absolutely maximizing the strengths of the killer. We see one jump gen pop there in the background as the survivors set up for the save. And yeah, so that's going to be Spits on the second gen, and the Grim Embrace is going to pop. Now, as he just sort of lurks around the area to see if he can find someone unhooking, and yeah, Dan with the Deliverance. I believe that's 3 Deliverance curses in a row. Just absolutely classic, and very unfortunate to have that resource gone from the game. Spit's going to continue on this gen. I would not like just started on Shack, and where is Kexo right now? Might be lurking for the save.
Yeah, so it looks like we have Spits on a generator, Nightlight on a generator. They're all doing generators. So looks like the play from Team Eternal here is to just let Dan sit on the hook. They might be making the call that it's not worth trading at all because Dan is the Deliverance survivor. It might be worth trading, you know, if they had Dan off the hook and he was going to be charging his Deliverance. Maybe they're anticipating that Ward is going to be just charging his Hellfire at the hook, like most of the silly Draculas in my public matches do.
Yeah, absolutely. That was exactly what I was thinking too. Camping hook with the Hellfire is not the most fun thing to play against. But yeah, they don't really want to, I guess, crank this gen to get that progression across the map. And yeah, Dan is going to be chased straight off the hook. We do see he has the Decisive, so that is going to slow down the chase a bit more. Nice dodge there onto the Hellfire as he drops that pallet. And yeah, just going to continue to play this tile. Not opting to break the pallet, but holds W away towards main building. This filler tile here can be quite nice. And Dracula can hit his Hellfire over those short loops, so it is not safe if you're trying to play around those. And the Deliverance, the Decisive Strike's going to come through, so it is going to hold W away.
This is the critical moment here. What can Dan make out of this Decisive Strike? Goes for the slow vault there, kind of confuses Ward here. Another generator pops in the distance. Team Eternal was correct to leave Dan on the hook with the Decisive Strike, but how long can he last here? He's playing this pallet. Good check spots there. Hellfire may be coming out here, but no. It's going to hold W through that pallet. He knows he can't drop the pallet when the Hellfire is active. Ward not able to hit the Hellfire just yet, and Dan great pathing away from the loop there, dodges the Hellfire pillar. It's on cooldown now, so he can go for the window, and Dan just continuing to last here as the last generator is completed in the distance. And now with Noed active, Ward just can't secure his tunnel out there. Amazing chase from Dan with the Decisive Strike. It's exactly what Team Eternal needed.
Yeah, and they already found Noed. Just absolutely going to just unlucky, to be completely honest. And Dan putting the entire team of Eternal on his back with that chase, allowing them to complete all generators. The comms will have gone out on that totem, but does he actually make it?
And that wasn't Noed, it was Blood Favor that they were working before, because that was up the entire trial. There were 2 totems left there, and they did the wrong one.
That is unfortunate, and I think that is Blood Favor gone. Yeah, so they've cleansed the Blood Favor. Noed's still in play. Is the flashlight going to come through? It is. Oh, he doesn't turn away from in time, so that's going to let them get out. Oh no, that's such an unlucky little thing there.
There's really no way they just flashlight saved like that in the gate. Team Eternal, they always come through with those saves. People say comp is boring, it's all pre-dropping pallets. but these flashlight saves do happen in the DBDLeague, and they are that much more exciting when they actually happen. So Team Eternal adding insult to injury here for Severance, as Dan now stealthing in the map, trying to kind of make use of his sprint burst here. He can see the Noed totem, but not sure if he can easily make it out of this door. Nightlight might have to go do the other door for him.
Yep. Starts cleansing on the Noed. Nightlight has been found, and he's the healthy survivor, so going to be trying to waste time, allowing for this totem cleanse, and if he manages to path towards the side of the map, going to use that actually to get away. Do they make it though? I'm not sure. Can they use life to make it to escape? But the bat form going to run past him and zone him away, and the two survivors are here together, so this might be quite catastrophic for Eternal. We'll see, but he dodges out on the Hellfire. Dan very smartly blocking the path of the Dracula, and oh my god, that's going to be a 4-man out. 2 stages, and
going
wow,
for the Hellfire was such a big mistake there from Ward. You can tell he was flustered. 4 out, 2 stages for Team Eternal. Absolutely dominant performance on this Dark Lord set, and this couldn't really get any worse for Severance.
Yeah, that is absolutely devastating for Wood there. The life, yeah, I think panic there in the end, like you said. Switch to dog form and then back to the Hellfire. Not able to get the down onto the injured Nightlight, which would have been the best case scenario in that situation. But Dan doing very well to body block there. Even if Dan was injured, he was the Deathlock survivor, so it would have only been 1 stage. So they played that in the absolute best way they could, to be honest. And just like we said, we were wondering how they were going to play this. I was really excited to see it, and yeah, just Dan, absolutely fantastic performance in his chases, not letting any value come out of the Dracula's powers, and yeah, just, you know, stellar gameplay, to be honest, from Eternal.
So going into this killer side set for Team Eternal, only 3 stages needed for the win condition. You can't get an easier win condition than that. I mean, you can, but 3 stages is probably the most realistic easy win condition for you to get, in the absence of people disconnecting or the killer lagging out or just crazy acts of God like that. So this Dracula set is basically set in favor of Eternal, and they're going to probably already be thinking about how they're going to replay the Sadako set.
Yep, and we will see after a short break.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Wrecker's Yard, and we have Nightlight on the Dark Lord here, needing 3 stages to put Team Eternal on match point here. He's already found scratch marks here at the main building, and that's going to be a lied out from Hallows. Will he make it back to this window, or will he get hit by the Hellfire here? He's doing a little bit of a circle there, but he's not going to be able to dodge the Hellfire. So Nightlight back into bat form now, continuing the chase. Dracula, he catches up so fast here, goes back into vampire form here, and he's going to have another opportunity for a Hellfire on this pallet. Goes for it. It's not going to land, though. Those tall tires in the way meant he couldn't get it over that loop here. So this chase is going to be continuing, Zach. Hallows here. How long can he survive for, though?
Yeah, I mean, he's in a strong position here at main building. Just find Cartney actually might opt to just change target here, given that he was found out of position. And yeah, going to wall form and pulls the pallet on that side. That's not the side you want to be pulling on. And I don't know if he makes it to this window, to be honest. He might get hit here. We'll see. Yeah, it does fall over. Oh no, but the double vault means he does not get down, which is really good. Gonna mind game this because I don't think he's gonna be able to get around back to that filler, but does opt to hold W. Okay, so it's a good strong movement from Cartney there, and Nightlight lost a little bit of momentum. He's gonna find him again, and yep, Cartney goes down. That is the first quick down for Nightlight here, as he secures the first stage. So ideally, you want those chasing to go for a bit longer, especially with this win condition. And yeah, going to pop Grim Embrace with the bat form. And you see there, you see Leverage and the Gift of Pain in play. So that's going to mean any unhook heals are going to take about 3 to 5 business days. The slowdown at Leverage recently got buffed, so any survivor who unhooks has a 50% slowdown to healing. So once they see that, we'll just see if they opt to heal through it, which they do. You can see in the background, maybe some healing perks in play. Oh, no, never mind, because the botany knowledge is on Alice, so they did opt to heal that.
Very nice first couple of downs coming in from Nightlight here, and I believe he only needs one more stage of any kind to win this game, because the last game was 2 stages on 1 survivor. So the next hook is going to be the win for Nightlight here, as he's going back to the hook in bat form. They're going to be completely unable to heal because of the leverage and the hemorrhage from Gift of Pain. So Hallows here in chase once again. He needs to last an extremely long time here for Severance to have any chance of winning this game, and he's really zoned. I don't think he's going to last very much longer at all. Just a basic attack coming in from the Wolf, and that's going to be the down onto Hallows. Is there a pallet save here, though? There definitely needs to be one if Severance is going to stay in this game. Your footsteps coming in, and that's going to be Ward getting the pallet save. Nicely done there. So Severance stays alive a little bit longer. Now Ward being pursued in the bat form. Hellfire charged. Nightlight going for it here. Ward running in circles, and he's going to dodge that flick there. Very nicely done from Ward. He makes it to another filler pallet here. Nightlight now in the Wolf form. He misses on that vault there. Nice pathing from Ward to dodge the Wolf, but he's a little bit zoned now. Back into the vampire form, but Ward holds W. Great pathing from him once again. Ward has been really performing well in this series so far for Severance, but he can't last much longer in this chase. Team Eternal is going to be on match point here as he goes for the vault. Nightlight, nice prediction there. That he's going to break away from the pallet, hits him with the Hellfire, and that's going to be the win for Team Eternal.
Yeah, really well played. I mean, you can't... holding Hellfire on that tile is good because of just how long it is. And, yeah, as you see, it doesn't matter which side he vaults on, he just holds that. And very, very unfortunate position to be in. And the limit is going to be used from Ward finds the chase onto Henu, and a gem is popping in the background. So they are moving with these generators. Unfortunately, it is just a matter of time now. The one is secured. And 2 gens, so fast progression, to be honest. Pretty good decisions from the survivors. And Alice is going to be found here, going to go down. And he hears Shaq being worked on, so decides to slug Alice and go for the injured Ward. No, we'll opt to go back. Yeah. Yeah, the survivors in the area has information on where they are, so gonna hook Alice and see if he can find someone else.
Carrying Hallows into the basement now. That's gonna be, I believe, him on his second hook here. Nightlight now back into bat form, goes to the window, and he's immediately going to find another chase here. This time it looks like it's going to be onto Ward once again. Nightlight in the wolf form now. Nope, this is actually Henu. Goes for the vault here. He has a pallet, but this pallet is quite strong, and it's just gonna get broken here. Wolf form, not unlike the Mastermind with the 2 dashes. It's just a little bit shorter. As now he finds the injured Ward going for the unhook, going to hold the Hellfire and then put it away. Ward's gonna go down near the shack, and now Nightlight right back to the basement here into vampire form. He wants to charge the Hellfire on these stairs, but the survivors have a little bit too much distance for that sort of thing.
Yep, as we see Ward going down there, and all the survivors are in the area, so Nightlight might opt to slug here. Using bat form pretty nicely to get that distance onto the Hallows. Last gen does pop, so that is going to be 5 generators completed. Ward's going to get picked up, and Hallows is, I believe, Deathhook going to be going into the basement. And yeah, if you're Severance here, you could just get out.
Yep, so decisive win for Nightlight here on the Dark Lord, and Team Eternal now on match point in this playoff series. We're going to be going into a replay of the Sadako set after these survivors leave the trial one way or another. And Team Eternal here going to be looking to play a little bit better than they did in that first tie because they really want to secure this victory in the set as a whole.
Yep, really, really well played. Ward gonna go down. Yeah, I just hightail it out of the gates, and as we see Henu leave there, and Carney might be shortly after. Second hook safe for Ward, just as we finish up, and that is going to be the survivors leaving the trial, and that is the 2K. Very nice play, and I believe that is the 2-1 match point for. I might be wrong. This is a very confusing win condition, to be honest, for me. Maybe you can clarify for me, Prion, what we have ahead of us.
So what's going to happen now is we're going to be going into a replay of the Onryo set on Midwich Elementary School, and the score is 2-1 to 2 in favor of Eternal. We have 2 ties, 2 wins for Eternal, and 1 win for Severance. So what's going to happen now is if Team Eternal wins the Sadako set, the game is over. Eternal wins and moves on. If Severance wins the Sadako set, then we go on to a replay of the Nurse set, which was also tied. And then we'll see if we can get a decisive result from that. So Severance now has a chance to even up the series once again. But Team Eternal, they really have all the momentum here. So this is really their game to lose. Nightlight staying on the killer right after winning. We'll see if he's able to get a tunnel out like he did last time in the Sadako set.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if we can get a 4K result again after that first game. Really impressive from both sides. Eternal have good momentum going into this game here. So probably a good position mindset-wise for Nightlight. And yeah, I think Severance probably feeling the pressure and just really want to perform. What an opportunity to do it though, with Onryo on the mid pitch. Not the. I mean, we spoke about how she's a weak killer, how she's not typically seen, and well, yeah, I think and sort of an opportunity to claw it back for Severance would be good on this game in particular. But yeah, a repeat of one of the Halloween sets. So we'll see how it goes as we're just preparing things in the background.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit worried about Eternal in this Sadako set, actually. It felt to me like Nightlight being able to match Ward's result in the first Sadako set was more on the mistakes of Severance's survivors than it was on Nightlight actually winning the game. He went for the classic comp strategy of tunneling out one survivor, but I feel like that is not a consistently usable strategy for Sadako in competitive. I felt like Ward's strategy with the Condemned was more consistent. And I think if Severance really brings their A game in this set and Nightlight brings the same strategy as he did before, it's going to be trouble for Team Eternal.
Yeah, absolutely. I was wondering if the power use was going to be used and utilized on the map, and Ward did it really well. I think, like you said, the playstyle of Nightlight, I think, was down to the sort of mistakes in the survivors. So if Ward comes back and uses that same playstyle, yeah, they might be in a pretty good position. But we'll see. We'll see. I think that, well, to be honest, we'll see. I don't know. The momentum, everything, the playstyles, the different playstyles, it's all to fight for. And yeah, I'm not sure if we'll see the same sort of results. I don't know. We could do. It might be a pretty good contest, like before. But we'll
So it looks like we've just now confirmed that it is Team Eternal on killer first here. It seems like the teams were a little bit confused about that.
Yep. So Nightlight coming off the back of that Dracula win, going to be strong coming into this set. We'll see how he goes and see how he performs. See if he can lock it in for Eternal on this Sadako set.
So it looks like everybody is starting to ready up here. I really do think that Severance had a better handle on the way that this set is like supposed to be played. They need to make sure that they're using those god palettes and keeping ahead of the TV cooldowns. I don't think the latter part of that will be too hard for them because in his killer set, Nightlight barely ever teleported. The condemned was basically a non-factor. None of the survivors from Severance were ever really pressured to get moried. It was really just down to Nightlight hooking people in a dead zone and camping. Because they had gone down near an active generator.
Yeah, you're right. And like you said, Ward's playstyle more consistent. I feel like Nightlight's very good at adapting to situations. And I mean, in that situation, maybe he felt like he didn't need to teleport with the gens being so close together. So potentially, maybe if he finds himself in a different situation, we'll see a different playstyle. Maybe it wasn't his option. Well, maybe it wasn't his plan to do it. Maybe it was just the fact that he was reacting to what he was seeing in front of him. Could potentially be the case. But if we see the game play out a different way, we might be able to see how Nightlight plays those TVs compared to how Ward did in his first game.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be going into the game now. And this is match point for Team Eternal, everybody. Remember, if Team Eternal is able to win this, they will win the entire series, and there won't be any more replays. We won't need to replay the Nurse set.
Yep, so looking forward to see if Eternal can take it. A lot of momentum coming in from last game, as I mentioned before. And, yep, we'll see. Again, no survivor pucks being used for this trial in the Halloween balancing as we spawn in and we see the same build from last time. It's going to be Ruin, Penty, Blood Favor, and Devour. So, all Hex build. Definitely very versatile and does really well to slow down the pace of the game. These survivors are going to be finding the first generators to start working on. And Nightlight is going to be searching for that first chase. Blood Favor, very strong chase perk. Able to block the pallets, especially for a killer like Sadako with her M1s. But not opting to TP or spread condemn. Does find his first chase and is going to be onto Cartney in this room. Mind gaming that really well and making it into the next room, try to chain these pallets. Not as safe as the last one, I believe. This might lead to a health state yet as first tier of Bloodlust activates, and that is going to be the Blood Favor active. So Cartney needs to make it out of this area. Can opt to go around, actually. I don't know if this is the safest play, really. Instead of leaving the area, decides to look back into the room up and this pallet. Okay, so Blood Favor did end, so he does make it to that gold pallet. Very, very well timed and paced from Cartney there in his first chase as we progress into this area here. Another really good pallet, and we'll see how he mind games this.
Cartney here, this door is now open here, and Nightlight thought he was going to path in there, but where is Cartney right now? He's hiding in the bathroom stall. Very interesting play from him, and actually, I don't hate it. That wasted about 10 more seconds of Nightlight's time, and honestly, I like that play a lot.
Yeah, it sort of confused him. Bought more time than maybe it should have, actually. But really well played. So first look secured. We're going to see 2 gens pop here in the distance as Nightlight goes down, and ideally does not want to stay around hook to get those Devour stacks going. We see a 3rd gen actually here with a good progression and finds Henu in the area. Following through, not opting to go for the gold pallet, but it does TP back to hook. Smelling that unhook right there. And really bad timing for Hallows there to be found. As he holds W away. And does Nightlight want to defend this hook here? I think he might do.
I think it's a mistake for Nightlight to defend this hook. Courtney has a long time left on his first hook stage, and Henu is about to pop the third generator of the game. No one is even close to being fully condemned. Severance is really on top of turning off these TVs. You can see that they're manually turning off the TVs, even though they already have a tape in their hand. It gives them an extra stack of condemned, but turning off those TVs like that, it makes the cooldown for them so much longer than if they had just allowed Nightlight to teleport. So Courtney not even going to go second stage here for Nightlight's time wasted. And although it's a trade, like, what is the point of just hooking Ward here? There's no, not going to be any Devour Hope in play because he's right next to the hook. Courtney makes quite a bit of distance, and Hallows is actually condemned here. He's getting close to his TV, but I'm not sure where Nightlight is, if he's going to be able to deny that or not.
Yeah, the only person that can take a hit for him would be Henu, and I'm not sure he's in the area. So this could change the pace of the game quite a lot if this condemn goes through.
Hallows here looks like he's been zoned off of his TV. This is really bad for Team Severance. Somebody needs to come and take a hit for him, like, right now. His TV is so far away. All he's going to be able to do is play for his life in this room under the library. Throws this pretty strong pallet here, but he's still going to have to win mind games. Goes for the exit gate pallet. He should make that. Nice pallet stun onto Nightlight. That was really close there. And Nightlight, oh, he wins the mind game there. He's definitely going to get the down, and that's going to be Hallows getting moried with 2 gens remaining. That's a fresh hook getting eyeballed. Really not what you want for Team Severance. And they had been so good at getting rid of those TVs until now. Last generator is actually going to be finished, and you can tell why they just left Hallows to die. It's because they were about to finish all of the generators. There's no Noed in play for Nightlight, so at this point, it doesn't really matter that Henu is condemned.
Yeah, has information on the injured ace and knows where Henu is. I guess it really is just a case of trying to get this hook stage confirmed. But unfortunately, Courtney has already been hooked, so not the best survivor to be chasing, I guess, for the win condition.
Courtney has been playing his distance immaculately this game. That is the second time he's taken greedy pathing and just barely reached a god pallet.
But finds the injured survivor on the gate. That's ideal. Gonna slot up to slug potentially. No, he does pick maybe getting that hook next to the gate, not the safest area. We see Henry's removed his condemn, so there is no fear of being moried, and Severance might opt to leave here, potentially.
Looks like Courtney is running back into the map here. Henu is going to open the door, and Nightlight going to be going back towards the hook. They might be able to save this stage here if they're able to get Courtney healed. I'm not sure if they're going to commit to healing him, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure the progression on the other gate, but one of them's opened. So they could make it. I mean, he's hooked in the center, near to the center of Courtyard, so equal distance there to both gates. If they reset, get the save, I think they should be fine. But we'll see. Nightlight wants to defend this. He's just checking around, see if they may be resetting in the area.
Yeah, he's gonna find the reset, but does he have enough distance to make it before they finish? No, he does not. So that's gonna be Courtney in danger here. Nightlight's gonna phase through the Claudette. Henu not able to get the body block, and Courtney's gonna go down in the gate. He's so close to the exit gate. Nightlight's gonna go for the pickup on him, and are they gonna be able to save Ward? Okay, they're able to save Ward at the last second, but this is still a better result for Nightlight because he's gonna get 2 stages instead of 1.
Yeah, finding that reset is massive. Very good decision there to have a look around and see them in the hallway there, and unfortunate they weren't able to get the reset off in time because I think that would change things.
And it looks like Severance is actually not giving up here. They might try to reset again.
Yeah, they want to deny as many hook stages as possible, but they better hope that he doesn't find the reset again. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they decide to go for a safer location this time. Maybe into one of the rooms.
I don't know if I agree with Severance going for this save. You've already beaten your result from the last Sadako set. Ward played so well on the Onryo before. I think you should just leave and trust him to get the good result.
Which I think they aren't going to do as they run back into the map. This is really greedy, I think, from Severance to do this.
Especially because it's hooked in a corner where Nightlight's going to be able to body block at least one of them.
Oh, but he misses the switch. Oh, no, never mind. No, he hits Henu.
It's Henu here, and he's going to have to try to body block onto Cartney, but he's not going to be able to. The gate is so close. I guess the save was a little bit more free than I thought it was for Severance, so very nicely done from them there. They're able to cut down on the amount of stages that Nightlight was able to get by, I think, just one. But still, good double save from them, and it's all going to be down to Ward now. Backs against the wall for Severance. He needs to meet this result that Nightlight just got.
Yeah, and as you said, his consistent playstyle with those TVs, if we see a repeat of that, then he might be able to push Eternal into a corner. I think Severance saving there just kind of shows their confidence in his ability to get results. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how Ward goes. Nightlight, I think, it did very well to catch that first reset, making best decisions as possible. Probably realized that hook wasn't in the best location, which did lead to them saving. But again, I think, yeah, we'll see. We have a contest. We'll see how this goes. I have high hopes for Ward after his first performance, being able to get that 4K with one generator remaining. And I do wonder if Eternal are going to adapt to the way he played the first time round, understanding that maybe the TVs making sure they're turned off is the right play. Are they going to let themselves make the same mistakes as the first game? I don't think they are, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, if Team Eternal is able to get out ahead of this condemned playstyle, I think we'll be seeing less than 3 stages. That would be my prediction here. But if they're not able to deal with that, and Ward kind of gets out to a lead with the condemned stacks like he did in the last game, that was the last Sadako game for Ward. 3 generators popped before the first down. And then only 1 generator was done for the entire rest of the game. Ended in a 4K1. So Team Eternal need to adjust their strategy from the first round if they're going to be able to finish the match point here and not send us to a replay of the Nurse set.
Yeah. Obviously, as the sets progress, we saw Eternal take the games from Severance on their own picks. Will they be able to do it a second time here? Again, I think they're such a strong team. I don't see them making the same mistakes as last time, but yeah, I feel like it's all going to come down to sort of the first couple of chases in the game to see how they decide to play around it, and how Ward's going to adapt to that as well. As we're just setting up the lobby, I believe same builds from last time as we saw on Nightlight.
Nightlight had the same build as last time. The Devour Hope just never came into play. Maybe
Yeah, that
a
was
bit of an
unfortunate.
oversight in crafting the builds there for Nightlight. Or maybe it was a little bit of overconfidence going against Severance, thinking that he could get away with stacking up the Devour Hope and not camping. But I would assume that the 4K1 from Ward kind of snuffed that out in the heads of Team Eternal.
Yep. And unfortunately, the decision to defend that first hook, and he didn't get his Devour stacks, but I mean, the team just did so well to crack through the generators. I don't think it would have mattered anyway. So, I think it's probably a safe decision to try and secure the tunnel out onto Cartney, because it does slow down the pace of the game and the mobility that Sadako has across the map. And I think that's probably what Nightlight was thinking. But yes, 2 different playstyles from the 2 players, and seeing how they play out is pretty interesting. Of course, it didn't pay out. It didn't pay off maybe as I was hoping with that result, but yes, very, very big challenge for Ward here to try and consistently perform compared to the last game.
Yeah, so it looks like all the survivors are pretty close to being readied up here. And we're finally going to see the decision on the Sadako set. 7 stages, 3 fresh is not a very easy thing to tie with. Um, Usually the most common tie results are 4K with X generators remaining. So when you've got like people out the door and stages just being left behind, it's a lot harder to get a tie. So this is really going to be finally the decision between Severance and Eternal in this Sadako set.
Yep, and as we load in, we will see how it progresses. Imagine right from the get-go, we're going to see what Ward's intentions are, if he's going to start TPing, spreading that condemn, or if he's just going to opt to try and find that first chase onto the survivors. I mean, if it worked well last time, why would you change? Why would you opt to go for a different strategy? But then again, you are up against a team that are pretty good, so we'll see. It might be just a situation of adapting. As we see, I believe it's that I said the Dracula perk there. I can't remember the name of it. What is it? What's it called?
Yeah, that would be Hex Wretched Fate there from the
Fate,
Dark Lord,
yes.
and that is a really interesting choice. So this means that the killers were allowed to switch their builds, and Nightlight chose to keep his the same. So first chase now, starting on to Dan. He's going to immediately drop that library pallet and chains it into the other library pallet. Good pathing so far from Dan. He's gonna eat an M1 though, and that's going to not activate Blood Favor because that's not in the build for Ward here. So Dan and Chase at this Exegate pallet, gonna choose to just run past that one and go to the stronger one over here in the locker room, and continuing to path around this pallet here. He wants to take his distance and go to the God pallet. Great choice there from Dan. Forces the killer to break the God pallet, and already we're seeing Ward actually committing to a chase instead of going for Condemned. This is a little bit different than it was before, and right as I say that, he does what I expected him to do.
Yeah, and first chase not on the obsession, so he is getting that Wretched Fate value right there. Does come straight back to Dan. I believe maybe he just wanted to spread a bit of Condemn before he continued that chase. Dan opting to stay in the area has meant that he hasn't really lost.
Oh, but he gives Dan the window.
Yeah, unfortunate. Really good pathing from Dan here, and this pallet is safe. Quite a long loop and hard to play a Sadako, but does he make that? I don't know if... Okay, he does. Yeah, so deciding to mind game. Playing this really well. Dan's doing great. We saw it in his Dracula game. The absolute pathing. And
even with the coup and Bloodlust 2, unable to get the hit.
Yeah.
And you know that what the difference was here, Zach? It was that Team Eternal, I mean, he's eventually going to go down because I'm sure he's Bloodlust 3 at this point, but Team Eternal was camping in front of TVs. Right as they turned on, everybody grabbed the tape except for Dan. So the Condemned strategy just not even available from the start for Ward, and he's already so far behind. 2 generators remaining, and unlike the last game, he has no lead on the Condemned stacks. Everybody has a tape. Team Eternal is actually moving those TVs around and turning them off, and Ward is really in trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wondered if they were going to change up their strategy to try and sort of deny that same result from the first game, which they have. They've adapted. They've not let him spread his Condemn. I mean, in terms of how quick the down was, I think it's probably about the same amount of time, but before then...
Nightlight is actually 1 stack away from being Condemned here, and he's going to put his tape away. So, very close there. That is the kind of miracle Ward needs to create right now. He needs an eyeball on a fresh survivor.
Yeah, that's going to definitely turn the tide, especially after that first really good chase from Dan. See some scratch marks, and that is going to be on to Kexo, who has not been hooked. Again, I don't think Kexo was very progressed in the Condemned department, if I remember correctly. As you see the reset happen onto Dan. And yeah, Kexo caught in a bit of a dead zone here. Going to lead to a health state. Get that Q swing in. Is he going to commit this, or is he going to opt to TP away? We'll see. Looks like he might want to commit.
He commits to Kexo here. Both of the last generators will pop, and he'll have no use of his Condemned, as Kexo just continuing to path to safe pallets here. probably knows that this killer has coup, needs to drop it at least on this swing here. And yes, he'll drop the pallet there. Goes back around, backside of it, going for the vault there. Not going to really mind game it just yet. And the swing is going to come in. Kexo knows he's dead. And it's going to be the pickup. Second fresh hook for Ward. You have to imagine those last two generators are probably so far progressed. We have not seen a lot of the survivors in a while.
Yeah, and Nightlight's already here for the unhook as well. So as soon as he TP's away, he's already lost that pressure on the hook. Opting to spread the condemn. You can hear the TP, and he finds Dan, I believe. Yep. Finds Dan onto this room, and there's no pallet here, so could potentially lead to a health state. Yeah, I believe that is going to be a hit. Onto Dan. Dan almost condemned. Had the two stages of condemn locked in on that first hook, and we'll see. I mean, if he's able to get the condemn onto Dan, then it might change things. But we saw the gens popping, yeah, for the progression, and onto the survivor who rang you for a long time the first time round. Dan is going to be showing he is consistent doing these mind games. I don't want to curse him, but he's on the good side of the pallet. That's going to be really bad. Did he?
Yeah, you can't give the survivor that side of the pallet. Nightlight is condemned now, but this last generator is being doubled here. Looks like Ward is going to sniff it out, and does Nightlight have a tape here? If he's able to get found and condemned, that could be exactly what Severance needs to stay in this game. But it looks like the survivor's staying very safe here. Nightlight able to deposit his tape. He's no longer in danger of being eyeballed. And they're going to be choosing to slowly reset in the corner of the map. Lullaby is coming in. They know that Sadako is close. Nightlight in chase now, but he'd rather have the injured survivor. Gonna get the down onto Dan there with the coup de grace. And it's gonna be another hook for Ward, but this last generator is being doubled and it's currently at 50%.
Yeah, I mean, he has got some condemn pressure on the survivors, so imagine he's going to start TPing straight away to try and like get that condemn status and see if we can get survivor out. But he needs to find this generator that they're working on. He does know about it, I think. So he's going to go
that one right there where the TV has already been turned off and it's done.
But they get it done, but you see Noed in play, so we'll see if maybe he can get some value from it. It said 7 stages across 3 survivors. I think still doable. It depends how long the chase is, though. And he is speedy with that, and he does have coup. So the coup and Noed going to lead to the down on Kexo, who I don't believe has been hooked.
The door is already open down there.
Yeah, so I think if they just leave here. Oh, it is just down on the door. Does see some scratch marks actually. Spits on the other door, so that was the Nightlight there in the area.
Other door is open. Currently 3 stages here for Ward. He needs at least 1 fresh survivor and another kill if he's going to even be able to tie this.
Yeah, I think he needs to find Nightlight. He is sort of in the area, but I don't know. Yeah, Dan leaves. That's going to be Nightlight going, and Spits on the other gate too.
Dan out the door. Nightlight out the door. Spits out the door, and that's going to be Eternal winning this playoff set against Severance. Very nicely done from Team Eternal, but Severance really made this exciting, even if they didn't have the stamina to go to tiebreakers with Eternal. I think they can really be proud of how they played today.
Yeah, absolutely. GG well played from both sides, and that is going to be Severance will go into that losers bracket, and Eternal will advance. I have to say, I think we can be excited for what Severance are going to do in this tournament, based on just how they have fought Eternal here. Definitely the favorites, or one of the favorites to win in the tournament, being the reigning champions, everything. Just absolutely awesome stuff. And, they're showing they're not here to mess around. They did really well. But yeah, actually pleasure to watch, and what a contest that we had, Prion. We got everything we wanted from the Dracula game, and thankfully we won't be going to another tiebreaker game. Eternal going to take the win.